Spencer, what's happening here? We are going to go ahead and start this thing up. Good to see everybody. Hey, all right, guys, welcome back. Yeah, so we didn't do one. We didn't do a call yesterday, obviously, because I was in Mexico. I was hosting the Swimsuit USA World Championships, and that shit was ridiculous. If you guys have any questions about that, we can go over that. But I wanted Spencer to come on because, and we got a lot of people to jump on here in a little bit. So hopefully, so Spencer, usually we have a different call for a link for our Tuesday call. So a lot of the guys are going in the Discord group and they're coming on and realizing we're doing the free call today. We usually do our free calls on Mondays. So here's the thing for you guys who have questions for Spencer. Spencer, what's the most money you've made in a month on YouTube? You made like 50 grand before on YouTube, right? In a month?
130K.
You made 130K. Okay. So this is what I want to talk about, guys. This is one of the things I want to go over is how does something like this work? Because I know a lot of you guys are getting, also Spencer, you said something before about you wanted to get into affiliate marketing. Is that right?
Correct.
Because that's something we're going over. I discuss it with Justin Waller, because you know he was one of the guys with Hustle University. I have some discussions with him about Andrew Tate. So that's something we're getting into. I don't know if you've seen, but I have like 10 new affiliate sites that have come out recently. So this is like a new thing when we talk about paid traffic, organic traffic, when we talk about sales funnels, when we talk about affiliate, and then there was another one. Oh, shout outs. That was another thing we were talk about as far as like building a product in a business. So Spencer, let's do this real quick while a bunch more people join on. We're live on YouTube right now. Can you go over exactly what it is that you do? Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute everybody else because I hear some dogs barking. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Spencer, and explain everybody what it is that you do.
The easiest way to explain is I make content and I post it on YouTube, and a lot of people like to watch it.
That is, I mean, that's definitely one way to look at it. So you call out, but where did you get the idea initially about like you called out a bunch of what you thought were fake gurus?
Yeah, that term's become quite popular nowadays. But it all started 2019, 2020, when I started making videos about some of the popular online gurus right there. The Authentic or Charlatan series was my big one. That started in December of 2019. And then it just kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of this whole world of internet marketing and gurus and people making a lot of money telling you how rich they are.
Hey man, real quick, what was the one about the NFL players? I saw that one that you made because I saw what happened where Brett Favre had used public money in order to build a gym. What was the scam that you called out there?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, he was taking funds from public money and essentially sending it to the Southern Mississippi like athletic department to build a volleyball arena, which
and his daughter
played there. Yeah, I think we can all agree that the money is probably better served going to those in need than a volleyball arena.
Yeah,
a non-profit sport.
So you first started doing some of these videos where you were calling out scammers, and then what did you notice? Was YouTube like really was this triggering the algorithm? Were you getting a lot of views because of this?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that triggers an algorithm. I think the best way to view it, and this is at large, whether YouTube, social media, or really even if you're trying to attract women, I think you're basically putting content out there that gets their attention. That's all it is at the end of the day, right? I'm making videos that get attention or are attention-worthy videos. So the algorithm is just a microcosm of what people are looking to click on and watch.
Yeah. And you mentioned before, oh man, now I'm even more blurry. You mentioned before something to the effect of like you were having, you found that when you made videos that were positive, they had a harder time growing than when you made videos that had like some negative connotation to them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Any type of expose or uncovering of the truth will have more views than the kind of quote unquote positive. And when I say positive, it's more of a promotional, right? You're doing a video that is highlighting someone in the sense of you're trying to sell something, whether their image, their course, or whatever. And so, yeah, there's obviously going to be a difference. There's generally going to be a mass discrepancy between the two. But also on social media, everyone already promotes themselves as is. So putting another video out there promoting someone is just, throwing another piece of content out there that already exists times a million.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's go over a couple things, guys. If you have questions, I need you to raise your hand so we can ask him some questions here really quick.
Yeah, I hope to hear some good questions.
Yeah, no, they're a lot of people loved your episode that we did. I thought that was really good. I mean, honestly, like I said before, a lot of what I do because I've seen so many people just blatantly lie, because my first exposure to self-help did come from the pickup guys. And a lot of them, I would go out with them and I'd be like, man, you are terrible with women. I don't understand, man. I just saw you barking at a girl. You were barking at her, bro. I don't understand. I remember one time, I will tell you, it's like one of the greatest PUAs of all time. I'm sitting in with him at XS, and he just starts barking at this girl who's like right next to me. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, dude, I had to pull him aside. I was like, hey man, they're going to leave with us. Like, they like me. You don't have to bark at them. I don't understand like why you think this would work. It was just one of the craziest, like most bewildering things I've ever experienced. So can you talk about this real quick? What was your experience like? Because I remember you said RSD changed your life. Can you talk about your experience with them?
Well, now to this day, all members of RSD have changed my life in one way or another. On the positive side, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, I used to watch RSD videos every day, and I would go out to the nightclubs and bars every night, 6 nights a week for like 4 hours a night, trying to do the pickup thing, get good at picking up girls. It's kind of funny nowadays when people ask me why I don't drink. I usually can't give them the real answer. I'm just like, oh, I prefer not to, but really it's more of like, oh, I had this pickup phase. And in pickup, you learn you don't drink when you go out to the nightclubs for reference experience. But I usually don't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult. I don't drink either, and I totally understand why you feel that way, man. It makes things a little bit more difficult. So really cool. And then what was your experience like with RSD?
Oh, totally good. I didn't have any paid products, any of those like boot camps or anything. I did buy Julian's Pimp product back in 2014, I think it was. But that was more for the infield, because I found the infield to be pretty useful when you can see the concepts put into person. And so I certainly never became Julian. I was not the one that barking at women like they were dogs.
I didn't know. Well, hold on. Was Julian barking at women on video on his call?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know he did that.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't realize he was doing that on his videos.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
okay.
Bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I never got that, but you can kind of see how they interact, like the body language and all that stuff. So I could learn quite a bit from those, but I never did a boot camp or anything. But it certainly was, I think, the healthiest part of self-development back in that day, the RSD of 2012 to 2015-ish, when they focused a lot. There was like a healthy mix of kind of pickup and self-development and kind of becoming the best version of yourself, which is what I took away from it.
Nice. I think some of the guys are just starting to realize we're using a different link today. That's why they're coming in here slowly. Hey guys, if you have any questions for Spencer, could you guys ask them real quick? Because I know some of you are getting into, we were talking about affiliate marketing. Also, if any of you guys are interested in real estate, Spencer has a lot of knowledge when it comes to that, and also the house hacking thing, which was a really interesting thing where you're talking before about having certain rooms in your house that you would give out, and then that would end up being more than what your mortgage was.
Absolutely, yeah. So house hacking is my level of expertise. That's my area of real estate that I can claim I'm an expert in. Yeah. So this next house, I just bought another one yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I'll break even cash flow between all the roommates. The interest rates being so high now have kind of eaten into the cash flow. But I get all my money from tax savings and solar credit. Tax credit from solar.
Can you explain that? What you get from solar credit because you've got solar panels on the top of the house?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, when you put solar on the roof, it's a zero down payment. So when you take it over, it's just you start the payments, but it's zero down. So it's a crazy return when you actually break it down. So it's zero down, and you get 25. I believe it's 25% of the cost of the system for tax credit. So my system on one of my properties from last year was $60,000. 25% is $15K. So it's like a $15,000 tax credit. So that's one example. So this year I'm going to get solar on the house that I just bought, so that it will be 2 solar credits that I'll receive this year of probably 30,000 in tax savings. And then because I'm a real estate professional, I can do what's called a cost segregation study. That is where you have what's called bonus depreciation in 1 year. And I'm hiring experts, by the way. So that's why I'm not speaking as like an expert here with the cost seg, but when you hire an expert, it's like $2,200. And in one of my properties, there was $190,000 worth of depreciation. And the way I have my LLC set up, that was $190,000 offset from YouTube income. So last year I made $250,000 net and was owed $1,500.
Okay, so the $250,000 you made was from the rent you received?
From YouTube. So my whole LLC structure, my holdings company netted $250. That's between YouTube and real estate.
Okay, and you're not doing, before you said you were doing a video a week, and that was when you were making, you said you made 130,000 in a month. How much was it?
Yeah. 100, around 100. It was like 120 or 130.
All right, cool. Here's the first thing. Hey, Blake B, this is the Men of Action call, not the Men of Chat. So that means you got to, if you want to ask your question, you got to turn your camera on. You have to ask your question live. That's what we do different on the Men of Action call. Okay. So make sure, Blake B, go ahead and raise your hand. The rest of you guys, if you have any questions for them, just ask them quick so we can get this discussion started. I don't know if you just saw, Spencer, another 30 people just joined. So they're just now figuring out that we're using a different link here today. Here we go. Link in the event section. Discord is wrong. Link in the chat is correct. Okay, cool.
The best month I ever had from YouTube AdSense was 60K in November of 2021. I'm not gonna really touch on it because it actually is something I don't want to share too much of, but the $130,000 month included getting paid to take a video down. And so that's all I'll speak on.
Wait, go into that. Well, hold on. You don't have to go into specifics. You had to do what?
No, I'm not. That's the only time I won't be too transparent. I got paid to take a video down, and it was a substantial sum. And so that was the biggest month. But from AdSense alone was 60,000 in November of 2021. And then now I'm about 30K a month from sponsors.
Nice.
No, okay. Sorry. 15K a month from sponsors and 15 from AdSense.
Right now, that's what you're getting from sponsors is 15K a month.
Yeah, and collectively. Yeah, so about 15 from AdSense, 15 from sponsors. So about 30K.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Apparently, we posted the wrong link in the event section, but I posted the correct one in the chat. So hopefully Miguel will fix that. We can get everybody over here. Please, guys, make sure you go in the Discord server. Let's get all 70 guys in here real quick so we can ask some questions. Also, guys, ask your questions. Raise your hand. Here we go. We're going to go with Gashard first. Gashard, what's your question for Spencer?
Hey, Spence. How's it going, man? My question to you was, I'm trying to be as specific as possible, but what type of I guess topics would you say kind of grab attention to build an audience on YouTube?
For me specifically, or are you asking because you're interested in starting your own?
Just interested in either starting my own or probably even like being able to like help someone kind of curate a channel or whatnot.
Got it. I think there's two answers. One is depending on if you're looking for short-term success or long-term success. I think short-term success is obviously going to be anything trending or in the news. Right. So just a hot topic. I don't really know much about it, but apparently Kanye West has been saying some things like those types of topics right now are going to get the most views, but you'll see in the data, they'll die off immediately. So after like 24 hours, so you're playing this game of like constantly trying to catch the spikes every day, it's exhausting, honestly, but it is a way for you to kind of jump into that. It's called trend hacking. So that's one strategy. And then another strategy is if you are thinking more along the lines of making search driven traffic. So anything that it's not going to be sexy and not going to be scandalous, but it might be how I'm making a certain amount in real estate or how I started my own business. Like people aren't going to watch that today, but over the lifetime, you might experience some months that are still get views a year or two down the road.
So like evergreen content. So that, I honestly, that's why I think a lot of the dating content does so well is because if you could look at a video where it's like, hey, how to tell if she's going to flake on you, bro, you could watch that video 25 years from now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that evergreen content, it really is interesting. I mean, it is one of the reasons why, some of the dating shows on YouTube do so well is because that concept is ubiquitous amongst every socioeconomic group of men, right? It's ubiquitous amongst every type of man, like every ethnicity, every country. And then when you deal with stuff like, Amber Heard shitting on a bed, well, that's pretty hot for like a couple weeks. I don't know. That'll probably be funny forever, actually. But stuff like that, like, cause we did that. We did, I don't know if there's a girl, Spencer, she murdered her sugar daddy back in April. She actually came to Babes in Toilet, one of my events. I'd never met her. Her name is, oh God, Taylor? Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up. Something Turner, Kelsey Turner. Taylor? No, Courtney. So here's the thing, Spencer, this is crazy, right? There are two girls and they didn't come to the same Babes in Toyland. Courtney Taylor murdered her boyfriend in Florida. She's an OnlyFans star. She stabbed her boyfriend in the shoulder and he bled out and died. Her boyfriend was from Nigeria and they were trying to front like he was beating her and he was pimping her out. Of course, some video came out where she was like completely assaulting him. Have you seen that video? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm familiar. I saw the taglines. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've met Courtney Taylor. She's come to Babes in Toyland before. Another girl, she murdered her sugar daddy. She also came to Babes in Toilet. No, just to be fair, we invite pretty girls to Babes in Toilet. We don't do background checks. We just invite any girl who wants to come on a red carpet and help us out with charity. We invite them to Babes in Toilet. We probably had over the course since like 2012, we've done 14 Babes in Toylands, right? Or for 14 years, we probably had somewhere in the area of 2,500 girls come to Babes in Toilet. So the second girl, her and her boyfriend her sugar daddy came from LA, drove to Vegas to tell the girl, yeah, here we go. We got 53 guys on now. To tell the girl, hey, I'm cutting you off and I'm not going to pay for your life anymore. So the boyfriend and her beat him to death, stuffed him in the back of his car and left him out in the desert. So 2020 contacted me and they want to interview me about it. Like 2020 ABC, they want to interview not me about the murder, but about like the whole influencer economy, right? Which, by the way, dude, I've seen some of your videos on it. It's really, really cool. Specifically, like, have you ever gone over the part where, you know, girls buy magazine covers? Have you discussed that ever?
I have a very viral video coming soon of a certain gentleman suing me right now, and I'm going to talk about how he pays for being an influencer.
So hey, dude, why don't we go into that? Because I'm just gonna be honest with you, he is somewhat of a topic of discussion. We're not going to say his name, but he is a
Derek
topic
Moneyberg.
Okay, you could say
Piece of shit
right.
Loser. Keep that between us. Do not let it public.
Don't let that public. All right, here we go. 40,000
yeah, there's
people
someone on the
watching
call.
this on YouTube.
I know DM.
Yeah,
someone on the call that knows.
Okay, cool. You can talk about that. I'm gonna stay out of this. I don't want to get too litigious with Derek. But you know, so what was the situation? By the way, trying to be impartial on this whole thing.
Yeah, me too. He's a piece of shit loser. Trying to be.
What you did, however, I thought was interesting. So you made a video. Can you describe the content of the video that you recently made about?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, this loser was claiming to live in Nevada. And so I decided to figure out if he really did live in Nevada. So I found the address. This is all public because it was he sued and had to state his address. So I found the owner of that address and yeah, I found out he wasn't the owner when I called the owner and said, hey, do you know Derek Moneyberg? He's like, oh, yeah. Does he live there? Does he rent there? No and no. It's like, oh, interesting. He claimed that he does under oath. So I alerted my attorneys. We got him signing by penalty of perjury when you sign documents in a lawsuit that you're claiming that what's stated in the documents is true to the best of your knowledge. And I would like to think that if you forget where you live, you're doing that strategically. I don't know many people who forget where they live. So anyway, so that's committing perjury. I think he's committing state tax fraud in the state of Illinois.
Have you heard anything back from his lawyers or your lawyers since you did that? I can't. Did your lawyers, by the way, advise you to not do that, or did they have?
Lawyers will always say don't do anything, but I'm fed up and I want the public to know about it.
And I
wanted a viral video. Damn it!
That was the first thing I thought, Spencer, when I saw that video was, dude, what would if I were your attorney, I'd be like, oh shit, this might be crazy. But you, I got them
to approve of it.
Okay.
Yeah, they approved of it.
Were they like, hey, I don't want you to do this, but if you do this, let me see it first, that kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they reviewed it.
Got it. Guys, I'm sure you guys, so one more time, let me review here. Spencer is successful with real estate. Okay. He's successful with house hacking. He's made $130,000 in a month on YouTube. Okay. He used to be into a bunch of the RSD stuff. He's taken a bunch of the boot camps and he calls out fake gurus. You motherfuckers need to have like 50 or 60 questions for him right now. Stop being scared. Stop acting like it's a pretty girl on the goddamn call. Raise your hand in the call and ask him some questions. Spencer, what have you learned about you and I had a discussion with this over barbecue. What have you learned about affiliate marketing? Because that's something I'm getting into. I was going
to text you and be like, yo, get an affiliate link so I can start promoting your program.
Okay. So here we go. Spencer, while we're on the phone here, guys, raise your hands, ask a question. I'm gonna put Stephen Roper. Spencer, I'm sending you my affiliate link right now. Okay.
All right. I'm building out a website right now for affiliate marketing.
Steve, turn on your camera and ask him a question. Steve, are you in Jamaica right now? Steve, you got to unmute yourself, Pam.
Steve, you're muted, buddy. Unmute.
You're muted. So you have to push the unmute button, Steve.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm in Jamaica. What's going on?
All right, cool. What's your question for Spencer?
No, so my question is in terms of consistency, because even if I haven't really been posting in YouTube because it feels so difficult. Like the period you had, because you're very consistent with your content. Like, what is it that pushes you to remain consistent? Was there a period where you weren't getting any views or you weren't getting that many followers? What pushed you to keep remaining consistent or to go through that period?
Great question. By the way, you'd probably get laid a bunch if you were in USA with that accent. God damn. Yeah.
I'm in Jamaica chilling, man. I'm really focused on work. So I have not really been like dating or anything. But yeah, I did.
No dating apps needed for you. So back in my first video was January 2015, and I didn't make my first dollar until February 2020. So I posted for 5 years with no success. I think the upside of YouTube is so large that it'd be like if I told you you have a chance if you just if you went to the gym every day for the next 5 years, at the end of 5 years, you're gonna win a $10 million jackpot. Like you wouldn't even have to question whether you go to the gym or not. Like if I could theoretically guarantee that to you, it's just so obvious to you. You're just like, yeah, I'll just go to the gym and work out for 30 minutes and I get the money at the end. I saw YouTube is the same way. The upside is truly infinite. We're seeing it with Mr. Beast right now. He's essentially gone from nothing into he's more than a billionaire at this point within 4 years. So the upside is infinite. And I knew that all along. And so I'm pretty internally motivated. I can't really relate if someone's not internally motivated. So I don't really have any advice or any tips there for you. I just knew that the upside was so great. That is the social connections that come with any type of following, the upside in terms of the financial upside, and then just the lifestyle. I think it was worth every minute of every ounce of energy that I put into the content. And so if you can see it the same way I did, I think it then becomes easier to be consistent. Now, keep in mind, this is my full-time job. So it's significantly easier for me now than it was when I had a job. So it's not really fair. Like it is my thing. So I can spend all day doing it. And I am successful. So I have the positive feedback loop, which makes it even more easier to produce content. I think you're muted again.
I have to ask you, because what period is it where you're working, where you could like jump from working a 9 to 5 to going into YouTube? Where was that period for you where you said, oh, I can quit my job and I can go 100% in YouTube?
April 17th, 2020. I lost my job from COVID.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I was forced into it. So I was one of these pussies that like wouldn't jump in full time. And my buddies were all like, dude, you got to go in full time. You got to quit the job. But I never did. I was forced into it. So I guess I was incredibly lucky in that regard.
Because I've been watching your channel for a while. Yeah, for a good while now. So that's recent, bro.
Yeah. 2.5 years.
Shit. Wow, man. All right, man. Respect.
Hey, I want to read some stuff on the YouTube super chat. Andrew McCaffrey says, guys, Michael Sartain is a massive scammer. Spencer, ooh, check your email, bro. Sartain is scamming MOA students. So that's from Andrew McCaffrey. And then Jay Wilson is writing, Spencer, John already outed Michael as a fake guru. So that's awesome. I want to make sure I read those out loud, and I'm not going to delete them because you guys have gotten so incredibly desperate recently. Dude, some of the stuff that after you and I did the video, and then the other thing, Spencer, one of the things I noticed was after, and I don't want to get into any kind of personal attack, but when Jay Moles made that video about me, and I've been waiting for him to make one. Obviously, he makes one on everybody. But he really didn't put in the effort, bro. I was like very disappointed. Like because I've seen him do like a ton of research, and he just basically like recited a bunch of people that I interviewed. And he said that, bro, this is my favorite thing. He said that I'm a scammer because me and all these other people are friends with each other. I teach a networking course and I'm a scam. Like, so do you understand? It's like, it's a conspiracy against him because we're friends with each other. I don't know.
He likes to burn bridges.
Yeah,
I don't agree with his approach.
Yeah, I was really confused by it. Like, again, you and I would disagree with this. I know some people who think John is talented and still think he's a psychopath. I think I'm not going to call him a psychopath. I'm not a clinician. And by the way, the psychopath is not a diagnostic. It's not a diagnosis. Antisocial personality disorder is actually the diagnosis. I'm not a clinician, so I can't say that. I can say that he does put out tendencies that show a very lack of a serious lack of empathy or compassion for other people, and also some, again, just in my opinion, not as a professional, he shows a lack of like a high amount of delusions of grandeur, if that makes sense. Maybe that's what makes him talented. I will tell you, living here in Vegas for the last 10 years, I don't know a single attractive woman he's been with. So, and I would know, because I'm telling you right now, they're all friends of mine. And if you don't believe me, you can go check on my Instagram. So I don't want to get into that whole deal. I was just really disappointed, bro. I really thought he was going to come. You just imagine if KSI fought Logan Paul and Logan Paul just like fell down in the first round. You'd be disappointed. That's what it kind of felt like. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's seriously what it felt like. I really felt like he was going to do more. So then what happened was afterwards, I actually got a bunch of people to come on my channel and like start looking at my Instagram after that video came out. So that video actually helped me a lot. I sent you the video as soon as he sent it. And then I sent it to all my clients, and then I sent it to a bunch of other people because obviously, nothing he said was true. I don't drink at all. He said my face is fat from drinking. I thought it was one of the funniest lines ever. But after that, after that whole thing happened, Then a bunch of people came over, they checked out my Instagram. And then so he had to respond in another video he made about Rolo, where he was like, Michael Sartain takes pictures of all these girls. And then he said, he saw me in a Chipotle and that I was afraid to approach women. He saw me in a Chipotle. So he was watching me in a Chipotle, and in the Chipotle, I didn't approach any women because I'm afraid to approach women. So I don't know, man. I know he's your boy. I would just really wish you would tell him, hey, man, you know, like, by the way, I'll give him talking points. I'll give him things he can bash me on. Like, seriously, I will write out the things that he can like criticize me on to help him, because he doesn't seem to want to do any research. But
yeah, there's no getting through to him. I talked to him quite a bit because we're getting sued together.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. And then you saw the whole thing where he had the falling out with Alex from Playing with Fire, who wrote me today also.
Yeah, I was in the middle of that. They both sent me stuff. Could you say that? I'm just like, dude, y'all are like teenage girls. This is a joke. Stop. Stop messaging me.
So here's the thing, you know, and Spencer, I don't want you to get in the middle of it. I love this attention. The thing is, let's think about this. We talked about this before. You remember the situation, because we'll go over scammers. Well, who's probably one of the most famous scammers in the last 40 years we can think of? It would be Jordan Belfort with his pinks, his pink sheets. And he was severely called out. They made a movie about him, right? Detailing all of the nefarious things that he did. And he went to jail for 15 months. And he's now 10 times more popular. Women throw themselves at him. I'm sure this guy is probably clearing at least 10, 20 million after taxes from his sales program and all of his books. Afterwards, people are like dying to go on his podcast. People walk up to him like, I'm never leaving. I'm not leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, his name is now synonymous with the word Quaaludes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, think about it. If Jordan Belfort messaged Kim Kardashian, Dan Bilzerian, Ty Lopez, anybody, if he came, Paris Hilton, they'd all probably respond. They probably all go on his podcast. And so what does that make? Look, whenever I see stuff like that, it makes me feel like there's no accountability for anyone doing anything. You know, when you see like the thing that happened with Caitlyn Jenner killing somebody in a DUI accident, never getting called out for it, or President Biden, who's supposed to be this like woke post-racial person, calling Black people monkeys in a jungle back in the 1970s. Like, we don't seem to remember any of these things people did. President Trump having sex with a porn star while his wife was pregnant during the election, like all these, we just don't seem to. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Spencer? It's like, you call these people out for what they're doing, straight up call them out, prove that they're guilty. OJ Simpson is making TikToks with white girls in Florida right now, and it just feels like nobody seems to care.
It's because it's interesting. We all live boring as fuck lives. And then when someone jumps on the TV and does something interesting, we just go, yeah, I'm going to watch that for the next 10 minutes. And then we get obsessed. And then we talk to our friends about, can you believe what Kim Kardashian did? It's just interesting. That's what it is. But yeah, our country's twisted. Where as long as you're a white collar criminal, that's it. Just don't do the dirty stuff on the street. Just commit tax fraud, commit perjury.
So I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you there. Also, Wes Watson, he's doing 7 figures a month, and the guy went to jail for attempted murder and selling dope. You know, Wes Watson is, right? Wes Watson.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, Wes Watson is a buddy of mine, and that guy, he's a monster. He's like, I met him for the first time in person the other day. We've done one episode over Zoom. He's doing really, really well. You know, you've seen all the cars he's bought, but no, he's a violent criminal who makes videos about his time in prison. Nobody cares, man. He's got so much credibility because of it. He does videos where he throws up like prison yard, like sign language. That's all he does in the videos. And they get like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views, bros. It's crazy. It feels like nobody, hey guys, remember, we got to mute ourselves. Remember? All right. It feels like nobody holds anyone accountable. You mentioned that before, where you felt like a little disappointing, where you would call someone out, like dead to rights, 100% unassailable, unequivocal proof that someone was scamming and a guru, and it didn't seem to make a dent.
Yeah, a good example is I was at a party the other day and I hung out with a guy who was on CoffeeZilla's, one of his featured on CoffeeZilla's videos. And he's like, dude, it was kind of funny because I got called out and some stuff was wrong, but then I had people coming to me and they wanted me to market their NFTs or some shit. He's like, I made a bunch of money. That's the perfect example. Somehow in a weird way in America, or I guess just culture, attention matters most. If you get attention, it's just going to work.
What we say in MOA is status is status is status.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, you could make videos calling out fake gurus, and that's your specialty. If Logan Paul made a video calling out fake gurus, he'd get more likes and views and engagement than you or I, because he's just famous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Even though that's not his specialty, he'd also get in front of venture capitalists before us, even though that's not his specialty. You understand what I'm saying? He could go out there and do a TED talk on real estate, not knowing fuck all. I'm not saying he would. I'm not saying he would ever do this. But the reality of the situation is people who would know more than him, would get more views, with more likes and views and comments when stuff like that happens. So I thought that was really interesting. Spencer, I'm really interested. Like when I do another flat Earth video, I'm really interested to hear. Like I'd love for you to watch it just to see the cognitive dissonance of people who are just like living. Because here's the thing, I think a lot of the people that you're calling scammers actually themselves don't even like. There's so much dissonance in their own mind they don't even realize they're scamming people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. The only videos where I do any exposing of stuff that isn't really public already are the sports betting fake gurus. And I think all those people are dumb enough to not realize that they actually aren't winning at the books.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen that. You know where else I see that? People who go long stock options. It's very similar. Like what'll happen is they'll hit on 1 out of every 40 or 50 stock options, and all the premium they pay for the 40 options that they lost on, they don't count that against their P&L. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They think, well, that was bullshit, and I just hit. They only remember their wins. Does that make sense? It's like, again,
if the ref just wouldn't have screwed my team, I would have won all the money yesterday.
It's very similar to the people who are like Alex Jones was right about everything. No, he wasn't. He wasn't right about everything. Like, it's just so crazy on some of the things he was blatantly wrong about. And they're like, no, that doesn't count because the ref screwed me on that. That was pass interference. It was a bullshit call. Otherwise, he's right about everything. So I thought that was interesting. All right. Now, see, I didn't want you to think I was bullshitting. I was embarrassed there, Spencer. There's 63 guys on the call now. There's a bunch of people watching us. There's a few people watching us on YouTube. Yeah, we just have the wrong link up. So they've all jumped in here, and we've got a bunch of questions for you.
So we've got one that's had his hand up.
All right, cool. Looks like we got 6 guys with their hands up. Duke, we're going to go one more time. If this is your first time in one of my calls, will you please put 1 in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat. It's the first time. If this is the first time, or if you've been in MOA for less than 2 months, put a 1 in the chat real quick. Put a 1 in the chat. Same thing for you guys on YouTube. Hold on a second. Here we go. Wait, one more time. I want to call these out because these are on YouTube. Andrew McCaffrey and Sartain also claims that MOA isn't an event organizing program when that's 100% all it is. Pays tons of money to hang out with models for a few hours. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is really, Spencer, I have the same issue that you do, right? So I teach a course. It's on leadership, entrepreneurship. I teach it on mindset. I do there's 10 modules on evolutionary psychology. We go over stuff that I learned in the U.S. military, and this guy is literally on this YouTube stream with an avatar, an anonymous avatar, saying that 100% of what I teach is event planning. When I literally teach guys to not throw their own events in MOA, I teach guys to help other people with their events, and that's only one of 11 different pillars that I think. So this guy's like blatantly lying. 9% of MOA is event planning. 9%, because it's one of 11. So I don't know. Most of the guy Andrew can't do math. So that's what 100 divided by 11.
It's so funny seeing you get so triggered by these comments.
I do, man, because the
100 good comments and one comment's like, Michael's a little chubby today. He like loses his shit.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Progress in those drama. What is Spencer Cornelius? Hold on. Yeah, Jordan Belfort claims he reformed, and Wes Watson is reformed. So we're underdog reforming 100. Okay. Wes Watson is all positive energy guy now. Spencer is a bum. That's what Mike Sinatra says.
Oh, nice.
Hold on. You're fat.
That's I love the hate or all the negative comments. I bring it on. It makes my day. It's so funny.
But here's the thing, Spencer. Like I don't mind when they call me fat or stupid. Like those, I don't mind at all. What I have a problem with is you were never in the military. It's like, oh, bro, those are the ones that get me. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's like, your course is. One guy said my course was $50,000. Like, oh fuck, like, and it's one of these things where it's like there's such blatant lies, and I know I shouldn't get upset because, dude, we've doubled our revenue in the last couple months, but man, it's just one of these things. I know I have to let go, but I think probably it's because I come from a different space. I'm coming as a U.S. military officer, right, where if somebody has something to say about you that's not true, the two of you deal with it together, and then if it's a problem, you go to the NCO or you go to the commander, and then we settle it. There's no rumors when you're in a military squadron. You don't do that because you end up fucking killing each other. You can't do that. Like, it's too important. It's a life or death situation. And I guess I'm just too used to that. But you're right. I definitely shouldn't let it go. Well, shouldn't have a problem with it. When people call me Dumb, bro, I don't mind that at all. I do not mind dumb. I don't mind he has bad game. I don't mind any of that stuff. What I have a problem with is, what I have a problem with is stuff where they question whether or not I was in the military, or they start saying things that are in my program that aren't in my program or stuff like that. That's where I have an issue. Anyway, so let's keep it moving. But I am going to read all the negative comments because I really do appreciate it. I'll read yours too. So let's keep it going here. Oh yeah, I'm a factory worker. That's my favorite of all of them. This one I didn't mind at all. So apparently, Spencer, I'm not a fighter pilot. Of course, I've never said I'm a fighter pilot. 92 T1 KC-135 instructor navigator. That's what I was. That's what I've always said I was. He goes, I was a glorified factory worker. That's what it said on one of John's videos. I was a glorified. So John is apparently like making secondary accounts where he's commenting on his own videos. He hired a bunch of, this one I will say unequivocally. So so because CJ Sparks started commenting on the video, and she's like, she's a playmate, and there was a couple other girls that are commenting. John got one of those services to get like a bunch of fake comments. And there's a bunch of like women on there just commenting like, great job, keep up the good work. And then like 6 fire emojis, like that kind of shit. There was like 20 women doing that. It was really, really funny. Let's keep it going here. Duke Action, what's your question?
Hey, Javi. Thank you for the question time. Spencer, I was wanting to ask a question on the fake guru kind of thing. And I understand the precision of the question might be questionable, but the short version is when you're navigating around on things, what are some of the tips or ideas that you might consider when going through a funnel? So you have a funnel event going around, whatever, and you're going through it, and you're just trying to find out, is this a thing that's actually worth pursuing, or is this just somebody routing me around a rabbit hole for hours to frustrate me and get me caught up? It's one of those things that I've gotten caught in before, and it's okay, stop, we're not playing anymore. What kind of tips can we look for to help control that and prevent that from being a catch?
I'm assuming you're asking as a consumer.
Yeah, from a consumer standpoint, yes.
Oh, man, I don't know the last time. If you look at it from the other
direction, so I'm sorry. Say that again.
I don't know the last time I've been down a funnel. I'm not too sure. There's plenty of good products with a funnel though. So I don't know. Other than like crazy claims, I mean, to me, a lot of it's obvious. Like if someone's making crazy claims and guarantees, and then you should be able to ask them, like, can you provide any proof? And if you don't get the sense that they can, it's probably a major red flag. Is the root of your question essentially how do you stay away from getting scammed or whatever?
Yeah, I mean,
what scam really means is you bought a course and they never delivered. Most of these courses they do deliver. It's just what's the level of good? I don't think a lot of these fake gurus actually scam in the sense they don't provide something, because a lot of them actually get the information from someone else. So I don't think like going down to ClickFunnels funnel is really necessarily awful. I just think the value is not there. You might be paying $1,000 or $2,000 for a course that you could get from another person on YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
my interpretation of the way to like look at the guru world is, for the most part, just become obsessed with whatever niche you want to get good at. And if you feel like after consuming a person's content, you feel like that buying their course will get you to the next level, then do it.
I got you. All right, cool.
There's plenty of people who have benefited from the fake guru stuff. That's why I generally don't talk about like the actual courses, because even Dan Locke, who's one of the biggest fake gurus, he probably has a lot of people that enjoyed the course and would buy it again.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I appreciate that, because that's the way I approach some of these problems always is what is my customer thinking? How am I being perceived? And I don't want to set people up for failure like that. And I also want to make sure that I'm actually delivering value. But that's a very valid point. I didn't consider the idea of you're actually receiving a product, you pay for the product, that they didn't technically scam you. It's not
as long as the claims. I mean, if you're selling a product on in e-commerce, like how to make $1 million in e-commerce, but none of your students are making $1 million, it's probably a good sign that you shouldn't be promoting how to make $1 million in e-com.
You caught me.
Here's steps 1 through 4 on how you make your first $1,000. And the content's actually good. I don't know how you could possibly be scamming.
Gotcha. Yeah. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
You got it.
That's awesome, man. I thought was also awesome was the conversation that you and I had about when something like Tony Robbins, well, I'm not calling Tony Robbins a scammer by any means. What I'm saying is his deliverable was a feeling. You know what I'm saying? And so like,
that's what self-development is essentially.
What do you do? What do you do with that? Right. So you ended up with a feeling. Tony Robbins is, I have no doubt whatsoever. Tony Robbins has pulled people out of despair. He's pulled people out, like made them think positively. I have no doubt whatsoever that Tony Robbins has called people to not commit suicide. I have no doubt whatsoever. I've read some of Tony Robbins' books and I found them to be very powerful. And then I just looked at my bank account. It was the same. You understand? Like that was the only difference with me is like, I'm not criticizing Tony Robbins. I just wanted Men of Action. I was supposed to leave you with something tangible, like every 15 minutes. And it just really, really interesting. Hold on. Are there more? Yeah, here we go. There's more negative comments about you and me on the YouTube live stream. This is pretty awesome. I'm
My favorite.
I'm getting pretty excited here. It's growing. It's growing. You know what the thing I did notice about YouTube live streams? Have you done many live streams before, Spencer?
Only one.
Okay, so this is one thing I've noticed with Instagram live stream. It tends to die down over time. YouTube will reward you the longer you stay on. And I noticed that first with Rolo, and then I noticed it with myself. Like if I stay on here long enough, I will have 200 people. Right now I'm around like 40, I only have 25,000.
By the way, Michael,
Mm-hmm.
I know you can take it, so I'm going to criticize you. This is killing your retention though.
What do you mean?
Going on your tangents. That's not relevant.
Okay. What do you mean? Not tangents about YouTube?
Yeah, no, just tangents.
What do you mean?
Like going on tangents about the live stream data and whatnot.
Interesting. Because I'm watching Rolo go on tangents all the time and it's helping him a lot.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, definitely. Rolo will sit there and go.
This is hurting my mind. I'm like, we're going on so many tangents.
Oh,
I got people that have like questions that want to get asked.
All right, cool. Let's get to the questions here. All right, here, Michael, what's your question?
So my question, I think, is good for both Michael and Spencer. So Spencer, I know your content sometimes always like hate driven. So I talked with Michael about this previously about a post that I sent out to prevent sexual assault on campus, which I thought was, helping others. And turns out got me just basically canceled. In the meantime, some guy on my team just backstabbing me, have the school news article, school news, write an article, just personal attack, saying I am misogynistic, saying I'm chauvinistic, and all those words. I don't even know what that means. And it was just pure on me instead of the article. How do you deal with all those hate? And especially when those negative comments would affect your personal life sometimes.
To be fair, it sounds like you had an article written about you. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, I've never experienced that where like someone completely slandered my name. I've had videos about it. I don't care. I just don't care because it does not matter. If you know who you are, I don't think it matters at all. Like to me, all attention's good attention. And if I would love someone to write, the only ones that would bother me is if someone called me a rapist or I beat women. Those are the only two that you could call me a murderer. You could call me a fake guru, a liar, a loser, a piece of shit. Like all that stuff is good. I think all attention's good attention because at the end of the day, I think if you provide value to the world, that just means more eyeballs now know you exist. And a certain percentage of those people are going to start, well, at least for me as a content creator, they're going to watch my videos and they're either going to like it or not like it. But at the end of the day, that's more eyeballs, more potential people to like me. So from my point of view, that's the only answer I have. I don't know what it's like to not be a content creator where attention might not necessarily be great. Like if a future employer looked up your name and found a news article, that would be kind of rough. I don't think that'd be fair.
Gotcha. Yeah, the article was only the school news article. It's not like any big news article, so that was okay. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
More people know you exist. That's the way I see it.
Hey, so here's the thing also with yours, because I happen to know some background on this. What you said, they misinterpreted. You did not say anything that was bad at all. I think they just saw you write something. They didn't even read it. And then they just try to have you canceled. Spencer, if you saw what this guy wrote, you'd be like, you'd be completely confused.
Oh, I left my stuff.
Hey guys, we got to unmute ourselves when you're jumping on here, guys, please. Okay, let's get to the next one. Eli Lopez, stand by. Spencer, unmute yourself. Eli Lopez, what's your question?
Hey, how you guys doing? Mike, thanks for letting me come on here. Appreciate that. And Spencer, since you're a real estate professional, do you think Airbnb is a good way to get into real estate?
Are you thinking of doing the arbitrage or buying a property?
Arbitrage.
I've never done it, so I can't speak from experience.
Okay. And I have another question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I see on YouTube, you had 8 streams of income in 2020, which first of all, pretty impressive. Would you think it's smarter to focus on one business and then expand that and start a new one, or start multiple at the same time and just dive all in and like put your energy into multiple places at once?
I'm not trying to give advice directly to you because I don't know you. However, I do think it's generally best to focus on one thing. The wealthiest people on the planet, the most successful, are really good at one thing. And then once you outsource, then you can have more mental energy to pursue a second thing.
Okay.
I was a little unique. I could do real estate and YouTube at the same time, but I know that's unique. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have kids. I totally cool not having a social life. Like, not everyone's willing to do what I did. But generally, if I could go back, if I had to do things differently, I for sure would have only focused on YouTube. The second I started earning money, I would have hired an editor better than me. I would have possibly reached a point where I could hire a producer. And then all of a sudden I have excess time back on my plate, still making the same amount of money, but I have more time, which then will allow you to pursue other ventures. Being a content creator is very unique in the sense that you get a lot of eyeballs. And so you have more opportunities than other people. Because Michael and I talked about earlier, like affiliate marketing, it's a game changer. Because once you get eyeballs, then you can start selling stuff.
And
but what you also experience too is as you have more success, you'll just be around successful people and more opportunities will open up.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Michael, you could probably speak about that. Like, just once you get around awesome people, like before you know it, you got partnerships and possible businesses to start, and maybe they have an opportunity for you to start promoting their product. And
I'll make it even simpler than that. Just think about Roger Bannister when he broke the 4-minute mile. Like, it took 2,000 years for somebody to break the 4-minute mile. It took 43 days for the second person to do it. When you're around people that are successful, you just come to the recognition that that thing that you wanted to do is successful. I'm doing affiliate marketing because I'm friends with Justin Waller and Andrew Tate. They made, like Spencer was saying, they made $6.5 million. Forget about what their content was. Somehow that $6.5 million, I'd be happy with $500,000 a month, $6.5 million a month. I'd be half a million a month from affiliate marketing. Hell yes, bro. We'll give all of you affiliate codes right now to go do that shit. Of course. So, but how do I know that exists? And one of the funny things is some guys in my, sorry, here's my cat here. Some of the guys in my team, Spencer, you'd enjoy this. Some of the guys in my team, they're not big into social media. They're just big in building funnels. So when I explained this to them, they were like, no, I don't really think this is a big deal. Let's just work on advertisements, let's work on paid traffic. And then I showed them your video. I was like $6.5 million a month. And it was like, oh, fuck, I get it now. They have to see it. As human beings, as Homo sapiens, we have to pass along information from one to another. And if I read it in a book or just understand something happens, that's not a big deal. When you hang out with 5 successful people that have done it, just imagine if you're getting into real estate and you're actually friends with Robert Kiyosaki. You would at least know these things are possible. By the way, I'm probably going to get Robert Kiyosaki on the podcast here pretty soon. You would at least know these things are possible just from hanging out with him. Just something like that. Or if you want to get into sales and you're just friends with Jordan Belfort, you would at least know what's possible from that. So definitely hanging out with people who are better than you, it's awesome. I will tell you the opposite side of that is that you're going to have to prune the people in your life at some point. Especially once you get successful, your time becomes more and more valuable. And as it becomes more valuable, your homie from back in the day who wants to go to the burger joint and get fat and drink beer and watch college football, all day, just spend the whole day watching fucking college football while you're drinking beer and eating pizza. Like, you're going to have to cut that out of your life. You're legitimately going to have to cut that out of your life. He's going to see you on your phone making money. And he's going to be like, bro, why don't you put your phone down? And I'm going to be like, bro, because I'm making money. And he's not going to understand. He's not going to be able to stand in your fire. That's another issue.
Eli, one thing I also noticed too is if you can get really good at one thing, like the difference between making, let's say, $50,000 a year and $200,000 a year, like that's a massive difference in the opportunities that open up afterwards. And so if you can double down and get to a point where you're making, let's say, $250,000 a year in one thing, then that allows you so much more other money to invest. So I invest passively. My buddy flips cars. And so I can give him money to flip cars, but I only have that opportunity because I have the money, because I doubled down on YouTube and got really good at YouTube.
Got it.
Hey, John, go ahead. Finish. Sorry. Hello. Hey, John Hindley, do you want to ask that question out loud?
That's not my question. That's Angus's question, Mike.
The Angus question is, Spencer, could you do a video on why the 1940s Nazi Germany is a scam invented by the U.S. government in order to distract us from Area 51?
It'd be a polarizing video.
I have one client. He's like, we're like, dude, do you think Hitler was a good guy or a bad guy? He goes, I don't think Hitler was real. I don't think Hitler was a real person. And it's like, his answers are so fucking funny, dude. They're so great, man. Uzo, what's your question, brother?
Hey, how are you? Thanks
Good.
for having me on. Question is just actually to you, Spencer. What would you say is your initial criteria or your initial red flag to know that there's probably is a fake guru or something that's a bit of a scam, what would you say is the first thing that kind of perks you up before you actually start digging deeper?
Great question. I think the easiest tell is when you don't have the sense that they can prove their claims. That's the first and foremost thing. Because almost all the people I go after, it's pretty niche, but the people I go after are going to be teaching guys how to make money or how to have success in one area. And so if they're talking about all their real estate, but they never show a property, that to me is the biggest red flag. Now, it doesn't always mean that they're a losing fake guru kind of thing, but that's generally the first thing to notice.
All right, got it. Thanks.
And always ask for tax returns too. That's, in my opinion, I think every guy who's selling anything that is a financial investment of any kind, I think they should be forced to show tax returns, that they can show proof. If I'm going to teach you how to make money in e-com, gambling, real estate, whatever, I should have to show that I actually make money in that industry.
Hey, Colton, could you ask that question live? Because I actually want to address that. Colton has a really good question here. If you want to just unmute yourself and ask that. I don't know if Colton can get to his camera right now, but Colton.
Yeah, I'm here right now. What's up?
What you just said.
Are you talking about irrefutable visual evidence?
That's it. That's the one, man.
Yeah. So irrefutable visual evidence like solves that. So that's one thing that actually helped me purchase MOA was like the IVE was huge because I've been doing masterminds since like Ty Lopez's first ones in like 2012. And like I purchased really quick with MOA because of IVE.
Yeah. So here's the difference. IVE is supposed to trigger the limbic system and the reptile brain. IVE is. So like, because you can fake it. You understand, all my photos on my Instagram, you could, if you really tried hard enough, you could use Photoshop to fake a lot of the stuff I'm doing. What Spencer's talking about are tax returns. That's beyond irrefutable visual evidence.
That's true.
Like you understand what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, when we say irrefutable, it's not really like if a woman sees a man with a bunch of other women like touching him, that triggers pre-selection in her mind, triggers hypergamy and pre-selection in her mind, but he still could be faking it. What Spencer's talking about is tax returns. Those are really hard to fake. Dylan's got to go, so we're going to let Dylan get to his question. Dylan, what's your question? Dylan, you're muted.
Hey.
Go ahead.
My question is to Spencer. RSD, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. How did you first find out about it? Was it on a YouTube video or a friend?
Sure. Back in 2012, I met up with a guy I met on one of the pickup forums. This was in Tallahassee, Florida. I met up with him at a Starbucks and I was like, oh, this mystery method stuff. I read a book about the mystery method and it was still weird to me because I was actually socially calibrated. I got laid. I think I had 13 lays in college. So I was decent. I was a college athlete, decent looking, social, threw a lot of parties and whatnot. So like the mystery method stuff was kind of weird to me, but still was like this idea of pickup. You go to the bar and strategically go from point A to point B with a woman. I was like fascinated by it. And then he goes, you got to check out this channel RSD on YouTube. And right away, this would have been December of 2012. Right away, FSU grad. No, I interned at FSU, the Florida State Athletic Department. When I was down in Tallahassee, I started watching RSD, and then we went out to the clubs. And I remember I was thinking so much in my head about all these little routines, like mystery method was. And then I saw him. He just walked up to a girl and was just like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, it sounds so funny, but you're just like thrown off. You're like, "Oh my god, you can just say hi." It sounds so stupid, but yeah, at the time I was so up here in my head about all the little routines that mystery method had. But RSD videos were really great. I really liked the way they presented themselves on YouTube videos. This was back when all of them had probably 10 to 30,000 subscribers. So it's definitely the newer days of RSD.
Yeah, when you first go out, it's kind of like mind blowing the whole experience. And I rewatched the episode with you and Michael last night, and at one point you mentioned that you kind of came to a realization like I don't want this 20-year-old at college kid parties. Like what results like did you like need a model or what happened to make you kind of realize like, oh, I'm happy with the results that I've gotten from the action that I've taken?
I think you asked, was I happy with the results I've taken? I couldn't really hear you.
At what point were you satisfied with the results from the actions taken going out nonstop?
Oh, immediately. Dude, when you're in your 20s, I feel like you're just getting girls' phone numbers. That's like the instant feedback. And of course, every now and then you get like the same night lay, which was always fun. Yeah, the best thing
All
about
right, yeah,
pickup
that's,
is you get
that's
that
all I
instant
got.
feedback.
It's true. It's true. All right, I got to get going to work now. Thank you so much for having me on the call and answering the questions.
You got it.
Shout out to Michael.
Awesome, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, I want to say one other thing. I was mesmerized by those videos too. I remember when I was, hanging out with Owen, and he was the first guy to show me, shooting in 4K. I learned a ton about edit. The first time I ever learned about using an editing suite by Adobe Premiere was Owen Cook. He absolutely was the first guy to taught me that in 2014. Also, depth of field. You guys remember those old videos that he would do handheld, and he'd have the bokeh, that bokeh effect. He'd have it down to like 1.8, and it was like manual focus. Owen was the first person to show me that. He was using it with a Canon 5D Mark III. I borrowed one of his cameras one time and took it to the Playboy Mansion in 2014 and filmed it there. So the stuff they were doing with their videos was groundbreaking at the time. So I agree with you totally. The production quality. I think after a while, it caught up to where it was so much production quality and they wanted to stay so ahead of the field that it kind of slowed them down a little bit. Once you got into like 40 megabytes per second, 4K video, then it became really, really hard for them to keep up with that. But yeah, that was really, really awesome. Dude, they have the house on Appian Way, Spencer. They have like 20, maybe not 20, maybe like 10 of those really expensive $5,000 Apple machines that they grind out videos with all day, dude. That thing is crazy. There's a house, there was a cottage on Appian. All it was editors. There was 10 editors that slept in there every night. It was crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I should tell you stories about it. I used to sleep in that house. It was fun because they had a PS5 in there. I'd be in there playing video games. Ahmed, what's your question?
Hey guys. Hey, real quick, getting back to the real estate stuff. I'm a real estate developer. I build large scale multifamily properties. And I want to start having online education or a course or mentorship regarding developing the correct way. There's a bunch of bozos and idiots out there telling people how to flip houses and stuff like that and calling it real estate development. But I want to show people from start to finish the right way of doing it. How do I separate myself from a bunch of bozos who spam the internet full of shitty information and show that my content is actually legitimate and helpful and worthwhile?
Go to the properties. That's the best way.
Yeah.
I think a guy like you, if you are you interested in selling a course and information like mentorship?
Yeah, I am. That's why.
The benefit. So there's two different paths on YouTube or content creation. This idea of like social media. One is views only, which is me. Like I go on this path, but the other path is going to be this way, and that is a natural funnel into something you sell. And so I may get 100,000 views on a video and only make $1,000 from AdSense. And it's like, oh my God, 100,000 views, Spencer, you're crushing it. Someone could get 500 views about real estate development, but 100 of those people are absolutely interested in becoming a real estate developer. And then 10 of them are willing to buy $1,000 coaching. And you made $10,000 from 500 views. I made $1,000 from 100,000 views. And so I think if you have a natural funnel, like you have to escape the idea of like the guru space or like all these views and just focus on creating the best content for your end consumer. And the magical thing is they'll show up. I'm telling you, they'll show up. If you get 100 views a video, all it takes is one to sign up for your funnel and you'll make more money than you can imagine.
So it's not necessarily about breaking through all that static of bullshit out there because it's everywhere. It's about just putting out the good information and converting the small amounts of people who really want to learn that.
People appreciate authenticity. I'm telling you, because it can be rare, especially in the field of kind of selling yourself, the guru space. And so I think showing up to properties and showing things that can go wrong, things that can go right, talking about successes, talking about failures, I think you'll develop a strong community. I think you can. It's going to be much harder to get views. I'm telling you, you might get 10 to 50 views a video, but the views you do get are probably going to be really strong.
And easily convertible, because my biggest fear is, okay, I'm going to do all this work and all this production and put out all the information, but I'm getting drowned out by all this nonsense. You know,
I'm telling you, you will right now.
that is a true statement.
Once you need to borrow some of Michael's friends. Hey, ladies, you want to go to a plot of dirt and talk about real estate development?
Hey,
until you're willing to do that, you're not going to get any attention.
Ahmed, let me give you a couple pieces of advice. Number one, the short form content, the 90-second stuff, is where I'm doing pretty well. So it goes YouTube short, it goes TikTok, it goes IG Reel. You can post it on Facebook and you can post it on Twitter if you want. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to tell you is, like, especially what Spencer's saying. I happen to have, 90, 100,000 followers on Instagram. The reality of the situation is I need 10,000 to run this business. That's all I need. and maybe less than that. Really, because I have a high ticket sales item, I really don't need that many people. There are 500 people in MOA. Those are the only people that really matter. And if you get those people on, I'll tell you right now, Adam Lyons, deca millionaire, he's made over $10 million strictly from an Instagram that had 6,000 followers. It is not that big of a deal. And he has no YouTube. It really does matter. Oh, another one, Alex, why am I?
Not Hormozy.
No, not Alex Hormozy. Alex Hormozy has made ungodly amounts of money, but he does have like 500,000-600,000 followers. Cole Gordon, 30 million a year in sales, 30 million a year. It's all word of mouth. So Ahmad, don't make the content good. Same thing with Nick Cosman. Nick Cosman does not have a huge following, massive amounts of money. At least it clears 10 million a year. Without a huge following.
Okay.
Competency, you have to remember, there's the, and I'm not criticizing them, but there's the Jake Paul dab crowd, the fucking ADD crowd. They will give you lots of likes and comments. That's great. That'll make you look cool. Maybe you'll get laid because of it. Maybe you'll get invited to an influencer conference because people see all the followers and likes you have. But then there's the people who actually give you the credit card number. Okay. That's a different group of people. These people are much more professional. They have more focus in their life. Okay. These people, you have to speak to them very clearly and concisely to get them to put down their credit card number. Do you understand, Ahmed? There's a much smaller number of those people.
So niche down.
It's not just niche down. It's just those are the only people that matter.
Gotcha.
You can absolutely, unequivocally, unassailably run a 7-figure business with fewer than 10,000 followers on Instagram. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I hang out with Graham Stephan and Andre Jick. They're real popular YouTubers you may be familiar with.
Yep.
So their ads on YouTube pay out 3 times as much as my ads. So in a video where I get 100,000 views and they get 100,000 views, they will make 3 times as much just from the ads because their audience is, I say better, not people are better than others, but just better in the sense of monetization. Like their audience is a little more mature, more entrepreneur. And so that's why, you know, a guy like you, if your stuff is good, if you can actually put out good information and you have a pretty solid funnel and a good product to offer, just make good shit, man. It's probably going to be 6 months of nothing, but that's to me, that's like the upside of YouTube is the fact that all the little shitheads that only want to put in a month of work, they get weeded out very quickly. The people that are willing to put in years always win. Always.
Good to know. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. Let's keep going. Alex Cook, what's your question? What's going on, soldier? Got to unmute yourself, pimp.
My bad. All right. So you might have actually answered my question right there. You know, maybe it's going to be 6 months of suck before results take off. So what's going on with me is I launched an info product, military to Wall Street. So the target audience is MBA students coming from military background that are looking to transition to financial services. The problem I'm trying to solve is my conversion ratio has dropped since it's originally started. So I'm trying to figure out, is it the sales copy? Although the sales copy is similar to other products out there, is it the quality of traffic, or maybe like you just suggest, maybe just the quantity of traffic that I don't necessarily have enough of a following to begin with now, that it's not necessarily enough sample size? I'm not necessarily looking at you to solve my problem, but like how do you think about with your own businesses, how you start diagnosing and addressing these things, if that makes sense?
That's outside my scope. You just don't have enough hot chicks, man. You got to get the hot chicks and the flashy cars and the jewelry. I don't see any jewelry around your neck. I'm just kidding. I'm not in that space, so I won't be able to help, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Spencer, by the way, if you want to borrow any of that stuff, let me know. I'll bring them out for you. You know, dude, you know how many girls, you have 500,000 followers on YouTube. You know how many girls I know want to start a podcast would go on your channel in 2 fucking seconds?
Yeah, especially after my OnlyFans video with Brandy.
100%. Did any of them message you after that?
I had a couple, yeah.
Dude, anybody, just tell me who you want. I'll reach out to them for you. 2 seconds. Dude, are you kidding? Because here's the thing, Spencer. A lot of these girls want to be taken seriously as content creators, not just pretty girls. So they get on YouTube and they understand I can't be as lascivious. I have to wear a top. You know what I'm saying? I can't do the whole podcast in a bikini or whatever. And then having someone like you, they would love to, first off, learn, you know how many of those girls want to learn real estate? They'd love to learn that from you. And 2, the fact that you have so many people on your channel, of course they would do it. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
I wouldn't do a podcast, but like a quick 12-minute day in the life. Those are great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Eric Tang, what's your question?
Hey, what's going on, Spencer? So since you're kind of like familiar with the pickup community, what was like kind of the weirdest shit you've done in terms of like openers or like super weird sequences and whatnot?
Yeah, great question. Dude, back in the day, Style, as he was named, Neil Strauss had the you put the not perfume. What do you call a man perfume?
Cologne.
Cologne. You put cologne on your wrist and you take a pen and you let the girl smell it and do a little check. And like, so like the end of the night, theoretically, it's like, which one smells better on me? Man, I did that shit in Tallahassee. I did it one night. I did it to like 5 girls and they were all kind of weirded out, but not really. Like they didn't really show it. It's like, oh, that's kind of unique. And then like the 5th or 6th girl was like, that's kind of weird. And just the way she responded, I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. So that was that's the one that comes to mind. Yeah. I mean, looking back, it's so stupid. You just walk up to a girl and say hi, you know, there's no need to do all this shit.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I was so influenced by the pickup stuff. Cause in those books, you know, they make it sound like you walk up to the girl and you get Paris Hilton's phone number if you do it.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I remember like back in 2016 when I was at Arizona State. Dude, I was like literally doing like push-ups in front of girls, like, and then I would open them. It was like the fucking just craziest shit, man.
Yeah,
Looking
it
back
seems
at it, oh
fine
my
if you see
God.
some guy do it on YouTube once, and then you do it yourself and look back, you're like, oh God, what was I thinking?
Let me
Yeah.
say something. I think one time if you do that shit just to see that you don't die afterwards, I don't have a problem with it. I think when you try to sell a product where all you do is push-ups in front of people and bark at them, I think it becomes a little problematic because now you've created a persona, and that persona, when it gets rejected, well, you guys will see tomorrow. I have a playmate, multi-time playmate coming on, Elizabeth Chevalier. She talks about how her persona when she would pose topless, or her persona when she would answer questions or go on social media, that was her persona. That wasn't her. So if you rejected her persona, it didn't hurt her. I feel like you're doing the same thing when you're doing push-ups and barking at people. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't care about me getting rejected by women. I understand my value, in part because I'm friends with awesome people, in part because Spencer and Rolo and all of my brother and my family, those people like that, that's part of where my personal internal value, my internal self-worth comes from. So if a woman rejects me, my personal self-worth, also I'm 45 years old and I've been in like 4 burning airplanes over Iraq and Afghanistan. At this point, if you haven't killed me yet, I'm not going to die. Like, I just don't give a shit. But that's something that comes sometimes with time and age. It's just this ability to completely let go and to really understand that what these other people are saying about you doesn't matter. Although I do care when people lie about my.
I was about to say, let's see some negative comments, and let's see if some of those that dig a little deep.
Yeah, they do
Eric, by the way, so on a good note, the one that always worked is I would right before I would pull the girl and I could sense she was wanting to be pulled, I would always say, like, I'll take you back to my place, but I stay with my grandma, but she'll make us cookies in the morning. And I kind of had like a whole script. It worked really well because it kind of threw off like, you're coming home with me. It's like, we're going to my grandma's house. I stay in the basement. Well, she'll make us cookies in the morning. That worked all the time. And then if I was talking to a Latina, this was in Houston, Texas, if it ever went stale, the conversation ever went like stale, and you're like, okay, I just need something to keep her engaged, I would go, me gustan las tortugas. And any Spanish speaker in here is like, what the fuck is he saying? And it's I love turtles, because there's the famous YouTube video of the little zombie kid at the park, and the news reporter's like, hey, little Timmy, what do you like about the park? He's like, I like turtles. So she would always laugh, like, it was like what the fuck are you talking about? And then I'd show her the video, and after that, it's good.
Hilarious, man.
So if anyone talks to a Latina on a first date, just say me gustan las tortugas at any lull, and it'll work.
I love them turtles. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
One of the comments, Cornelia is blue pill.
Nice.
Do you want to get into the blue pill, red pill stuff?
Yeah, let's do it. That's so funny. I'm neither, because isn't blue pill like you get married, and I'm not married or into monogamy.
No. It's not that. Blue pill is a belief. This is what I found blue pill to be. That's what you said, Spencer, is correct. But what I found it actually to be, as a translation from a lot of the red pill guys, is if you don't like angrily call women out and degrade them, then to some guys, you're blue pill, right? So for me, you saw I had those girls on my podcast the other day, and because they had breast implants and I didn't call them whores for having breast implants, therefore I'm blue pill. Or another example was Jamie Villamore. We asked, hey, what do you think the average height of a man in America is? And she said 6'2". And I said, 6'2", that's insane. Of course it's not 6'2", it's 5'9". And she's like, oh my God, I'm not seeing that at all. I thought it was 6'2". And I was like, well, Jamie, I mean, you're an FHM cover model. Of course, like, you're just used to being around guys who are 6'5". Those are the only guys you notice. The 5'5" Filipino guy at Walmart who just rang up your cashier. You didn't even notice him at all. And she, she understood what I was saying, but I said it in a nice way because Jamie's my friend. I didn't call her a bimbo or something like that. So therefore I'm a blue pill simp because I didn't cuss at her. That's what I found when people say blue pill, that's what they mean.
Keep going.
No, the other thing I found is that it doesn't make any difference. The fact that I am around beautiful women all the time, run a successful company, I'm in shape when I'm 45 years old, and then like every fucking IG model and Playboy model follows me. That makes no difference. I'm still a simp.
You're blue pill because you have receipts. See, all the red pill guys don't have receipts. That's the problem.
That is the problem. But it's like 50 girls show up to my birthday party and I can prove it. But because I was nice to some of them and I tipped at dinner, therefore I'm a blue pill simp. Like that's how their logic works. It's better to be mean to women and be unsuccessful with them, because then you can still call yourself red pill.
Oh no, you're alpha. You're alpha at that point, right? Alpha. If you disrespect them.
You're unsuccessful with women, but you treat them like shit. Therefore, you're alpha.
You jack off so hard at night. That makes you alpha. With all those women you aren't dating.
That's hilarious.
No, I generally like to stay away from labels. I think it's so stupid to label yourself. I think it's so limiting. I don't like to look at any label and be like, oh, I'm that guy or that guy. I have beliefs and I have my experience in the world, and that's that.
Okay.
I just find that world so funny when everyone starts like you're red pill, you're red pill aware, as if it's like you reach some utopia. It's so silly.
Yeah, it is funny. It is really funny because I mean that's the way dogmas work. It's like it is kind of scary. On the one hand, when they base some of their findings on evolutionary psychology, I'm like, fuck, that makes a lot of sense, And I love Rollo. Like as a human, he's a terrific dude. This whole thing that he's a scammer, Spencer. I've been hanging out with this guy for months. He has never once asked me for a fucking penny. The guy is not at all. The dude has been nothing but awesome to me.
Yeah, the word scammer gets thrown out way too much. I'm part guilty because like I kind of created, CoffeeZilla and I are kind of in this space, but I rarely use that word because I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is you can, if you want to say you're red pill and you berate women, that's fine. I don't berate women. That doesn't matter. You believe whatever you want. My point is you're successful with women. It doesn't make any difference. All that matters is that you berate women. And I was like, dude, that is a really ridiculous. Like I would rather be successful than be right. Does that make sense? I'd rather have the $1 million than prove to people I have $1 million.
One of the best rap lyrics of all time came from Jay-Z. Would you rather be overrated or underpaid?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I'd rather be overrated. Have that $40 million a year contract. All right, let's go. James Hallman, what's your question?
Hey, can you hear me?
What's going on, James?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, thanks for having me on. Quick question. One of the rules of one of the 6 rules of MOA is social media is fake, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But clearly, Spencer's not that okay with it because he's called out a lot of guys for that. So where do you draw the line between what's okay to lie about on social media and what isn't okay?
So I mean, Spencer's not in MOA, so this might not make a whole lot of sense to him, or may not. The context might not be there for him. For me, I don't say you lie. What I say is they're fake. So we come to the understanding that what I mean by social media is fake, James, is that when you look at social media and you feel FOMO because it feels like everyone's in Tulum fucking a supermodel and you're not, you, James, need to understand that social media is fake and it doesn't get to make you feel FOMO. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so social media being fake is something you need to hear. As far as me, do I show the videos of me taking a shit? No, I don't. So therefore, I'm not giving you the full authentic view of my life. I'm giving you the view of the good parts of my life. So in that case, is it fully authentic? Nothing's fully authentic. Do I post pictures where I look better than when I look worse? Yes. So then that's not fully authentic. But what I said before, James, is social media is fake and that's okay. And I'm okay with it. The world's not fair and I'm okay with it. Social media is fake, but the money's real. And because like clickbait, you see people, they'll show, I see this all the time. I'll actually be interviewing Dan Bilzerian and somebody will have a video where they're commenting about Dan Bilzerian, and in their clickbait thing, it's like Dan and them looking at each other. It's actually like a clip from my fucking interview, and it'll be like Dan and that person looking at each other. Then you go look at it at the video, and the video gets way more views than my video, and Dan's actually in my video. Real talk, I have a video where I'm actually interviewing Paris Hilton. and the other people like talking about Paris Hilton get more views than my video where I'm actually interviewing her. That's what I'm talking about. Social media is fake. Does that make sense, James? So what you want to do is be a social media producer and not a social media consumer. I'm sure you can speak to this, Spencer. You feel way more productive actually pushing upload on a video and having it be released than sitting and watching everybody else's content.
A little bit. Yeah, that was actually a really good question. I think what you're getting at essentially, Michael, is you're like, we exist in this world. Instead of trying to bend reality, let's just exist within it and win the game and understand what it is and how to play within it. I actually have a challenge, or I have a challenging life in this regard, because a lot of my content centers around fraud and in the bad. And a lot of people are telling me, hey, look at this person, and I need to go down a rabbit hole of checking this person out. And so a lot of my life is actually spent on social media as a consumer. And I have to admit that that's not ideal. And so I actually feel like I'm someone who consumes more social media in the kind of the negative side of it than anyone else. And I definitely think it has an impact on your mental health.
But we had a conversation about this where it was like, these guys are like buying fake followers. And then at first you want to call them out on it. And then you see how much money they make. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And the game of making money, man, they're winning. I can't deny that. A lot of people making 7 figures on social media.
Beautiful. Colton, what's your question?
Yeah. So I'm in the door-to-door industry for solar, and most of my leads come from knocking doors. You two seem to be very successful especially with MOA, just because I know Michael a little bit better. But I've hired a few agencies, and some of them have been okay, some of them have been absolute trash. What would you say is a good way to like sift through and find a good way, just like stack my calendar virtually? Does that make sense?
It's probably more a question for you.
Oh, Colton, as far as stacking your calendar virtually, you're going to have to build a funnel. I would go back to what I said before. I would produce content on Spencer. Are you doing 10-minute clips on well, no, your videos are already shorter. Your videos aren't 30 minutes to begin with. So you really don't need to do that. Are you doing 90-second reels on your Instagram?
No.
Okay. So Colton, one thing I would recommend, and Spencer's obviously just dominating on YouTube, but one thing I would recommend though, is that these 90-second clips that I've been doing that I put on TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts, those things generate a ton of attention, a ton of engagement, which then goes to the link in bio, which then takes you down to your Hoobie or your Linktree, whichever one you want, which then takes you down to your sales funnel. That's the best thing I can explain to you.
Okay, so if I just go host like some events and just record the whole thing, you just like clip it up and then just start posting that content.
You could, but I would try to show yourself as a subject matter expert rather than just you as at an event.
No, like I'm the speaker at the event.
Yeah, then perfect. That's exactly right.
Okay, like I would create the event.
Colton, here's the quick answer. Brad Lee.
Okay.
When you get off here, just watch 30 minutes of Brad Lee on his Instagram. Do what Brad Lee does, not sort of. Do exactly what Brad Lee does. That's the best
just
advice.
Copy his strategy. Right?
Correct. Exactly his strategy. You'll notice that the fonts on my reels are not similar to Brad Lee's. They're exactly the motherfucking same as his. Yeah. In MOA for the first year, there is zero creativity allowed. You copy only what successful people do in the first year of MOA. Then afterwards, you put your own spin on it. But in the beginning, we only copy successful people. Okay. We unapologetically steal successful ideas. We do use those successful ideas till we achieve mastery or some level of competency. Then we can add our own flair to it. But I can't tell you how many guys, I have new affiliates that have come out and they're making these videos that look fucking terrible. And I'm like, guys, where are you seeing other people make affiliate videos like this? This is horrible. Stop doing this. Only my best affiliate, Spencer, what I've done, my best single affiliate was, shout out to Andrew Billings. I make the other guys watch what Andrew's doing. You see how Andrew's converting? Let's all move in that direction. That's what I do. Instead of like, these guys are doing 90-second videos with 10-second intros. Could you imagine a 10-second intro on a reel? What the fuck? Bro, I had to get like, dude, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Please stop. So it's stuff like that, Colton. Does that make sense?
It makes 100% sense. Yeah.
So Brad Lee. Watch Brad Lee. Ready? Number 2, I want you to watch Hardcore Closer.
Okay.
Watch those 2 guys copy precisely, not sort of. I would even wear black t-shirts. I would copy everything they're doing, Colton.
Is Hardcore Closer the bald guy that's with Bradley?
No, it's
Different
Ryan.
person.
No, Ryan Stewman. He's with Dan Fleischman. Hardcore closer. Both of those guys are pulling more than 2 million a month.
Okay, and Bradley. Wow.
Yes, both of those guys easily more than 2 million a month. Both of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. Anything else on that subject? Just to kind of.
No. Here's the other thing, Spencer. I
copy
also want to point this out. Those guys are competent, so I encourage you to buy their program. Remember, I'm selling my own program. I do not discourage.
Bradley has a course. Doesn't he have a course on how to do that?
His course is not quite. Actually, no, he does have a course on this. I forgot. He does. He has 2 courses. Yes. So I encourage people, if you want to buy Sean Whalen's course, if you want to buy Ryan Stewman's course, because this is something I learned from them. There's plenty of money to go around. So many of you guys have taken Corey Chaloff's course, have also taken my course. So many of you guys have taken Sean Whalen's course, have also taken my course. I do not discourage anybody from taking another course if it works. If it works. Okay. And I'm not getting an affiliate code from any of those guys, but I know their shit works. I know Ryan Stewman is extremely successful. And I know Brad Lee is like the king here in Las Vegas. I'll bet you Brad Lee makes more than any other self-help coach in the city. I bet he makes more than anybody. Yeah. I bet he does. I bet he does. Because he's got he owns an entire floor of a fucking office building. Bro, Spencer, have you been on his podcast?
No, it's right down the street from my house. Funny enough.
Dude, I'll get you on his podcast. You 100% you need to do his podcast. 100%.
Okay, great.
Guy's awesome. He'll a bunch of people who are very smart will hit you up after you do his podcast. That's where I got my sales guy. Hey, Harris, please mute yourself, buddy. But my sales guy, I got my copywriter from going on Bradley's podcast. I got my sales trainer from going on Bradley's podcast, all that kind of stuff. So I would highly recommend that. That's a great Bradley and Ryan Stewman. Bradley and Dan Fleischman are 2 great examples of a confluence of successful people always meeting up with each other. Right? That's what elevator nights that Ryan Stewman or that Dan Fleischman does. Awesome. Let's keep going. William, what's your question?
Hey, Mike. Quick Lumilight question. I have the iPhone 13 Pro. I saw that you like the one that are like the.
Hey, brother. Okay, so we got Spencer on. So the Lumilight question, just buy the newest Lumilight. There's no real question here.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Let's keep the questions for Spencer. Okay. I promise you can answer that. You can ask that question in the Discord server, and they'll have that for you. Ryan, what's your question?
Cool.
Hey, thanks for having me on. So my question is, so there are like 60 plus people on this call, they all want to be able to make content, make money through social media. So my question is there space to add something new on social media or is the content market too saturated?
You're unique, aren't you? You're one of one.
True.
That's my answer. You're the most unique person. You're one of one. I was hanging out with friends last night and they put on a video of someone walking a city when it was raining. It was like North Korea or Korea or Japan or somewhere. It had millions of views. I was like, how the fuck does this video have millions of views of someone walking through a city? There's a channel that races marbles with millions of views. It's literally marble racing. It has millions of views. There's a space for everyone. If you have something to offer of value, that's kind of like that mindset is kind of similar to, like, Michael would obviously disagree. We're kind of like, there's so many attractive guys out there. Like, how can you date a beautiful woman? It's like a very silly mindset to have. So I think everyone has it within them. Maybe not today, but I think within a year, if you really put your mind to something content wise, I think you have something unique to you that would find space.
Thank you very much.
All right. Awesome. Let's go to the next one here. Russell Coker, what's your question?
Hey, I have a question for Spencer. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a good buddy. I was talking to him the other day, and it sounds like he got scammed from his friend who was claiming to be like an options guru and basically crashed his account. So I was hoping, if you have any insight or resources I can kind of pass along.
Yeah, show up to his door.
Huh.
I don't understand the question, Russell. I don't understand the question.
I don't know.
Do you want to break his knees?
Lawyer route or anything?
Like log it, cops involved or anything, or is it just
nothing?
Kind of a loss?
You're not going to do anything. Nothing.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen this work.
No. Okay.
Yeah, you just don't do your research. Again, guys, for those of you who are in MOA, when you go on my sales page, what's the first thing you see? You see 50. You see 50 what? What do you guys see?
Testimonial.
50 testimonials. 50 testimonials. This is something, dude, these guys fucking hate. The guys who hate on me, they hate that shit. There are 50 testimonials. And then I encourage you to go talk to those guys and then be like, hey, is all the stuff Michael say true? And then they'll be like, yeah, it's true. That's what I would tell you to do. Why is it that I'm willing to, if someone were to come to me and be like, hey, Michael, I want to join your program, but I need to talk to some other people in the program, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'll give you the names of all those people. You guys have seen several times where I post all my favorite Instagram accounts from the guys who are in MOA. I'm always down for you to talk to other MOA members in the Discord server. I connect you guys by city because I don't really have any complaints. The only guys who complain about my program are lazy fucking people. And by the way, no offense to you. If you're lazy, there's a program out there for you. I'm sure there's someone out there for you. It's not my program. My program is fucking hard. So you can leave, and no disrespect. Hey, it's not a big deal. But one of these situations happens where people will, like, hardly anyone complains. 99% of people are satisfied with my program. Therefore, I want you guys to all meet each other. You're going to notice when you deal with a scammer, Russell, that never happens. Don't talk to this guy. He's a psychopath. Don't talk to this guy. Don't talk to this guy. Don't talk to this guy. Does that make sense? Always, whenever you see people, like when some of these Telegram groups that are complaining about my course are like, I heard Michael's course is this, this, and this. And I'm like, cool. Can you name one of the people in my course? And of course they can't. They can't name anyone because they're the ones who's scamming. Does that make sense, Russell?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. That's what I would do. I would just ask for receipts.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things I used to do on this, we didn't do it today because I had Spencer on, but you guys have seen where sometimes I'll have 11 girls on this call and they'll be like, we love Michael. We come to Michael's events. Why do they do that? I'm not doing that to like show you I fucked all those girls. I did it to show you that when I teach you networking secrets, those networking secrets actually work. That's the reason why I do it. And then I made this claim. I'll make it for all of you guys who are new to the call. For those of you who think that I pay girls to come on my Instagram and take those photos with me, I'll give you $10,000 if you can find one girl I've ever paid to be in any photo ever, or pay you $10,000 if you can find one single girl I've ever paid to come to an event. 10 grand. You can.
I didn't hear you say $10,000 to find a girl you've paid to have sex with. I'm still searching for that one.
There you go. Yeah, 10,000. But listen, Spencer, if I paid $10,000 to have sex with a girl, she would be so fine that I wouldn't even be ashamed of it. She would have to be so fine, I wouldn't even be ashamed of it. I'd be like, look, listen, you would too. I can't think of a girl
prime Scarlett Joe or something.
I'm trying to think. Scarlett Johansson for 10. I don't know if I
prime.
could do that. See, the problem is like once you get to 10,000, isn't it like now it's like weird and obligatory. I was probably like that if you get, I don't know, I've never paid a woman for sex. I'm sure it's like that at what you get above 2,000 or one. I knew a guy who paid $3 grand to have sex with Nicole Aniston. Was that the porn star, the blonde porn star? I think he paid like 3,000 to have sex with her. And I was like, at one hand, I was like, that's fucking weird. I would never do that. On the other hand, I was like, listen, Bilzerian said it the best. He said, I wish I could pay women for sex. I wish I could, because my life would be so much easier. I wouldn't have to go on all these fucking trips with them. I wouldn't have to do all this shit. I could just have sex with them and then just go back to my business. He's like, but I can't have sex with women that don't want to have sex with me, so I don't pay them for sex. That's what he says. I will fly them out for sure, but I'm not going to pay them for sex. And I thought that was interesting. I feel the same way. I just can't do it. I don't want to have sex with somebody who doesn't want to have sex with me. Cool. Let's keep going. You pay here we go. No Jay says you pay indirectly to set up events, dinners, drinks, etc. Michael Sartain. So I pay. So because I go to the gym and I post on social media, and because I get comp set up with me and 50 girls, I'm paying for sex. Does everybody understand? I want to make sure everyone here is clear. This is No Jay. You guys can look him up. He's in the live chat right now. Because I work on myself as a man, therefore I am paying for sex. That to him is the equivalent to paying a hooker 150, or well, I'm sorry, Florianopolis, a hooker in Florianopolis money in order to have sex with you and go on your YouTube channel. That's apparently the same. It's equivalent. It's the same thing. Cool.
That was a very reasonable response. I'm proud of you. You seem to have grown.
Michael is fake. Hey, I love Ramsey. Michael is fake. What was the other one? There's one of you guys. Oh, factory worker is absolute, dude. I am putting factory worker in my bio. I was a military factory worker. Those are the best shit ever. Awesome. Let's keep going. Guys, anybody else have any questions? I know I saw several of you. By the way, Andrew, shout out to Andrew Billings. Dude, you guys, you're killing it with the affiliate stuff. If you guys want to see really, Spencer, you too, if you want to see having a guy make affiliates for your product, check out Andrew Billings, what he's doing on TikTok and what he's doing on Instagram. My brother is actually doing really well. He started an affiliate YouTube channel, and that's actually done really well for him. So that part is going really well. And we actually see every day. I get to see on my Slack chat That's another thing I would recommend, guys, is that you use Slack so that you can see when you get your payments. You can see when you get your new leads. You can see when people sign up to be affiliates. You can see when people sign up to be salespeople. Like as soon as Spencer, as soon as you fill out that link I just sent you to be an affiliate, immediately I'll get a message from it. Does that make sense? So that's another thing I would recommend for you guys. Anybody else have anything else you want to ask him?
I was going to ask Spencer, is there any reason you kind of stayed away from talking reels and short form stuff?
I was doing TikTok for a while. I hired someone to run my TikTok. It got banned because I'm a bully, apparently. And because I made a video with Brandy Andrews, who's OnlyFans girl. So that account got banned. It got back up, but I couldn't justify the expense, the monthly expense paying for someone to do it, because my monetization strategy on YouTube is mostly AdSense. And you can't possibly justify spending X amount on TikTok. I would have to drive 400 or 500,000 viewers a month solely from TikTok that would not watch my videos without TikTok in order to justify the expense.
This might not work for Spencer because he does make so much money from AdSense. But what I would tell you is that if you make that short form content, the way to make it worth it is to post it on Facebook and Instagram and Reels and YouTube. I'm sorry, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you post it in those 4 places, then it kind of becomes, you're deferring the amount of views, right? I get 1.3 million impressions from Instagram and about 600,000 from my, well, actually, no, I had one that got 1 million views on, one of my shorts got 1 million views on YouTube. So when I defer it like that, it actually makes the cost worth it for me. And it might not work for Spencer, but it definitely works for me when I post on every one of those platforms. Does that make sense, Andrew?
I'm going to pick it up shortly.
Yeah.
My Facebook got banned, so I'm in the works of hopefully getting my Facebook back.
Why'd
I want to
your
start
Facebook
posting
get
on
banned?
Facebook.
My Facebook just got banned too. What'd you get your Facebook banned?
I was told from a Facebook employee it was for IP rights or something. I don't know.
Oh, intellectual property. Yeah, somebody probably just fucking
mass reported probably.
Yeah, mass reported you. I got banned for a Jeffrey Dahmer meme.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it said the CDC informs you or encourages you to stop with handshakes, and then it shows Jeffrey Dahmer and it says stop Splendor. That was it, and I got banned for that. I can't go live on Instagram anymore because of that. Nate Cardos, what's your question, Nate?
So you this is for Spencer. You kind of have a job where you kind of like make videos, and as far as I'm aware of it, is there a reason you still live in the US? Because I feel like you can do your job anywhere, right? Or you can make your money anywhere. So like, why are you? I'm from the US. I grew up in the US, and I think the US is kind of shitty, but you kind of have a lot of people that aren't in a position to just like, they're kind of tied down by family or usually work, right? That's a huge commitment. They can't just like pick up and leave. But is that like a reason you're still in that country?
Sure. Yeah, my real estate strategy is one. I haven't really been in a position where I had a bunch of cash and own nothing. Like I'm kind of jealous in a way of the people that don't really own anything but have a high income job and can get up and move. I have a lot of friends here. I have a lot of social connections here. I'm not interested in traveling much. I love the US. I love Las Vegas. And so maybe my lifestyle is probably different than yours, but yeah, I can't deny that there's probably some city out there that would be better and more enjoyable. I've heard some cities have very beautiful women that are much skinnier than America. And I'd probably have a much better dating life in some cities for sure. But yeah, I mean, my family's here. I've always lived in the US. It's not that appealing to me to go live elsewhere.
Okay. Have you ever like been outside the US for like an extended period of time? Or
I've never left the US.
Oh, dude, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, that would kind of make sense. Yeah.
Where do you live?
So I grew up near Philadelphia, and I moved to Budapest as soon as I joined this program about 2 years ago. And everything's much better here. So it's just
That's fair.
cheaper.
Yeah.
The people are better. Like everything's so much more accessible price wise. Like I can just do whatever I want whenever I want to. So I'm basically I'm 3xing my income just by living here. I also have dual citizenship and speak the language, so that helps a lot. I feel like if you're single, like it's much better to date people here too. The culture is much better culture on like things like alcohol and arts and everything like that. I feel like the US is really lacking a lot of things like food culture and alcohol culture and things like that. It's just a very simple place to live with like not that many religious like it's not I don't want to talk about religion, but not like that, but like it's just like the US is so culturally like poor, I would say that. Like there's not that much, people are overweight, people are kind of uneducated, people are like too much wokeism, things like that. And
That's fair.
it just didn't, yeah. And like I living here, everything is just cheaper, and I can also like those like in this program we talk about like how steep like your social pyramid is in your city. So like Las Vegas, you can meet like anyone you want, and like if you go to LA or New York, it's kind of the opposite. And here in Europe, there's not that much like social segregation, or like I can just go to a restaurant, be sitting next to a celebrity or some athlete, or go out, be next to like artists. I've dated several girls that have dated like star athletes and famous artists and stuff. So it's super easy to like meet popular people. And I feel like in the US it's kind of different. So that's why. But I feel like a lot of people can't like just pick up and move, right? Because they have to work there, they have family, they have a house maybe that ties them down, like all this stuff. But I feel like if you're a YouTuber, you can just go, wherever you want to. But
yeah, in some sense. Yeah, I have interest in pivoting and doing content out of my house, but yeah, generally speaking, if you're a talking head in your studio, you could get up and move to Bali and live for much cheaper.
Right. Yeah. So that was just my question. I was just curious why so many people still live in the US. But I feel like in the future, like what's going to happen is that Eastern Europe is going to be like the highly desired place to live. And these people who live in the US are going to want to have this like dual kind of life where they kind of live in Eastern Europe. Because I feel like America is really going in the downward trajectory in terms of like lifestyle, and like I don't think it's a worse place than it was 15 years ago, in my opinion. So I feel like in the future, like this is gonna be like the dream life. It's like go from the Western world to like this semi-Eastern part of the world where it's like super cheap, everything's super accessible, much better lifestyle, and all that stuff. So, but that's just my opinion.
Right on.
Beautiful. Interesting. I prefer the US, man. I think the girls are more attractive here. I like the fact, there's a lot of things that are more accessible here. I think like it's easier to make money here. I just prefer it here. I know that we talk about the demise of the West all the time. I have no trouble meeting like guys, I'll just tell you right now, I'm an amazing girl. Okay, I'm gonna put up the red flag right now. I might have a girlfriend. And she's in her early 20s, and she's just super fucking down for me. She's originally from the South, and I'll if things work out, I'll introduce you guys to her. But bro, I've had no trouble meeting amazing women like that. I know, guys. Okay, maybe I don't have a girlfriend. Chill out, guys. Chill out. But she's amazing, and she's everything that I heard that you can't find in the US. I found here. So I like the girls here better. I think the girls here are in better shape. I think now, not to mention, I do agree. There's a lot of girls in this country that are like heavier or whatever. I think in Vegas, that problem doesn't exist. I think the women in Vegas are amazing. Cool. Oh, Rolo's on here. Hey, shout out to Rolo. Hold on, let me see Rolo if he wants to join. Hey guys, somebody give Rolo the link. If you guys are on YouTube, give Rolo the link to join us on YouTube if he wants to do that. Guys, any other questions for Spencer? Spencer, why do you love it here? Spencer, by the way, you got to start going out with me more, man. We got to go out and party sometime.
I'm getting to that point. I've because of my lawsuit, I've basically been forced to work as hard as I can to keep the income up so I could pay my bills.
Okay.
But I'm starting to outsource. I hired an editor recently. I'm starting to outsource, and I want to pivot next year. I want to pivot to start making different content, and I think I'm going to make a massive lifestyle change.
Okay.
Probably by next summer.
If you want to go out, I told Rolo the same thing. You don't have to worry about it. I'll set you up wherever you want. If you want to go out to a club, you want to go see Deadmau5, you want to go.
It doesn't help that I hate nightclubs. Like I despise nightclubs.
Well, I think you despise nightclubs because of your experience with nightclubs.
Fair,
right?
Fair. However, like the idea of going somewhere with loud music is like my attention is like within 10 minutes, I want to go home.
Okay, but I just think that if you go somewhere with 20 girls and loud music, your attention would be held somewhere else. Does that make sense? Like what I found is that when I'm in with 4 playmates and I hurt my ankle really bad, my ankle doesn't hurt anymore. That's all. That's just something I've noticed, that like all of a sudden my body doesn't hurt as much when I'm with beautiful women. Does that make sense? It's just something I noticed. But anyway, just an experiment. just an experiment that we could run together this coming winter. If you, all I'm saying is, if you ever want to go out in Vegas, I'll take care of you. Okay.
Love it.
That's my thing. That's what I do. Like Rollo was talking about this before, is like, because people bag on Rollo. They're like, how come you don't go out? How come we don't see your receipts? How come we don't see you with hot girl? He's been married for 26 years. And I'm like, Rollo doesn't have to worry about that. I will handle that for Rollo. That's my job. Rollo's in my tribe. So if he wants to go out, or if Andrew Tate wants to go out, or if Justin Waller wants to go out in Vegas, I handle it. They don't need to handle it. That's my job. I handle it. Does that make sense? Because they're part of my tribe. That's what networking is. If I wanted to learn about real estate or house hacking, I'm going to start with Spencer. Does that make sense? That's his specialty. I'm going to start with Spencer, and I trust Spencer. So I'm going to start with him. That's the way it should work. That's how it works. That's how networking works. Does that make sense? For those of you who are not familiar, that's how it's supposed to work. There's some people out there who legitimately think, oh, you're just friends with all these people. And it's like some kind of conspiracy. No, it's not a conspiracy. People who are good at making friends get better jobs, date more attractive women, make more money. It's just the truth. It's not a conspiracy against you. Some people who are very introverted are like, oh, it's just the world's out to get me. Don't be a victim. Don't be a victim. Understand the rules and play the game. Saul, what's your question?
Howdy, everyone. I want a question for Spencer. I understand that Mike just kind of went on a secret Illuminati push. You don't have to worry too much about that. He's a great guy. However, I want to say for Spencer, I can clearly see you have a lot of books in the background. And as a guy who doesn't like loud noises too, I resonate with that. I'm curious, what do you do to actually just relax and decompress? Or as you're clearly well read, do you like enjoy other things in that matter? Because I was like, Michael tries to push us in the direction of like understanding the value of reading, as long as you have anyone's interest in MOA, and it's how it's very influential into your life. So I'm curious how reading has affected you.
I think it's one of the most pivotal things you can do, because I think you can learn skills and learn about people that you never thought imaginable. I think one of the best niches within this concept of reading books is just human psychology. I think you can understand people a lot better, which will have a profound impact on your life. So that's first in regards to reading. I think you were kind of getting at like, what do I do to decompress? I watch a lot of YouTube videos, like a lot of fun YouTube videos. If you looked at who I was subscribed to, it'd probably be surprising, because I don't follow any gurus or any people who make money. Like I just like mindless entertainment. And so that's one way. I don't read too often. I don't read to read anymore. I just read if I'm trying to learn a skill. So right now I picked up books on editing because I want to get better at storytelling, because it's the next wave of content I want to make. And so now I view books as the bridge between where I'm at today and a skill I'm trying to learn. But as for decompressing, I like going to the gym too. I go get a massage once or twice a month. That's always nice.
All right, we're going to go do that, but we're going to do it with girls. Okay. Spencer, double
Love
day.
it.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
All right, we're going to do that. Cool. Dude, you're too talented and successful. We can't have this anymore. You can't, Spencer, you make me look bad. You can't be one of my friends hanging out in Vegas and not have like an incredibly hot girlfriend. This has got to stop. Okay.
You want to hear something funny? I'll tell you a quick story, 20 seconds. I was up in Denver and I met this group of girls next to the table next to me. They sat down next to us and were eating next to us. And we just got to chatting. And of course, at some point, it was just pleasantries. And at some point it's like, oh, what do you do? Or why are you here in town? And I said, oh, I'm here making a video. I'm a YouTuber. And like their eyes lit up because just the idea of YouTube is interesting. And then because I'm very, very good with talking to people, I subtly threw out the idea that I get recognized in public, just because I threw it out there because I knew that's like a super like, oh, who the fuck is this guy kind of thing. And so they asked for my name or my channel name and I said it. They didn't sit there and look it up in front of me, nor was it really that conversation. So we just had pleasant conversation. Then I get up and leave. I didn't ask for a number. It was in Denver. I didn't really care. By the time I got back to my buddy's place and checked my phone like an hour later, the cute girl at the table followed me on Instagram. Beautiful. The reason why I say this story is how important it is to get attention and to have like, to just, even though social media fucking sucks and there's so much shit about it, if you can get any type of clout in any way, it's a game changer. I'm not any cooler than I was 2 years ago, but now I'm like quote unquote cooler because I have her next to my name. It's stupid, but if you learn to play the game and you win at it, it certainly leads to opportunities that you never thought imaginable.
For
and
sure.
I know you teach, what you teach, Michael, like some of your successful students, these guys, you show me that they like have these pictures of these beautiful women and you look back a year ago and it's like, dude, your profile sucked. Now it's good. I can guarantee you that if those guys met a girl and they were just kind of like, oh, nice to meet you. But they look at his Instagram, they're immediately like, oh shit, I got to get to know this guy. It's a game changer.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Beautiful. Anybody else have any questions? Spencer, I'm sorry to keep you so long. These guys are just really excited to talk to you.
Oh, it's nice talking to people. All day I've just spent looking at my computer, editing video.
Cool. Nice. Anybody? Here we go. Ramsey, what's your question? Ramsey, who called me a factory worker earlier. Ramsey, what's your question?
Hey, what's up, Spencer? I'm trying to become a real estate agent right now, and all I'm getting is like just fuck this, like it's gonna suck, it's a bad time to get into it and all that stuff. Can you give me like some like positive feedback in the real estate world? Because all I'm hearing around me is like, hey, don't do it. This is a bad time to get into it. You shouldn't be doing this.
I'm guessing all those people are millionaire real estate agents telling you that, right?
They're not.
Oh, they're not. Oh, yeah,
losers, bro. But like that's all I'm hearing, and that's all I'm surrounded by. Like the only reason I'm still doing it is because I'm an MOA, and I'm just like, like these guys are dumb, like they don't know what they're talking about. But I don't have anyone telling me the bright sides of it. What are the bright sides?
The money's there. I just bought my house Monday, and on a $60,000 down payment, because I'm the agent, I get $15,000 back. So I get an immediate 25% return just because I'm an agent. And I'm the world's worst agent too. But you get referrals, man. I think the key is, I think social media is still in its infancy, and it's becoming more competitive for sure, as people are realizing that everyone can be a media company. But the eyeballs, it's hard to like send the message out to people who are on the other side of the fence. And I'm obviously incredibly fortunate to have like some type of like quote unquote clout or some like subscriber count that's impressive, whatever. But like once you realize the power of eyeballs being on you, it's incredible. And like being a real estate agent, all the people telling you that probably aren't on social media actually getting attention. If you can figure out how to get attention, even if it's just checking out Inez Ilmiser on YouTube, and he just walks properties. Some of these guys who just like, what's $1 million property in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Like just doing that, if you get 1,000 eyeballs on videos, which is not impressive in any way, but if you get 1,000 eyeballs on whatever city you live in, and they realize, oh shit, this guy's a real estate agent. I like how he tells jokes, or I like how he presents himself in front of the property. Or sometimes it's just, you have the same skin color, you have the same hair color. Like it's so fucking stupid. But if that's all it takes, if you get one person per video, even just one person per month who watches your videos and ends up buying or selling through you, you could make, the average commission now is probably what, 10 or 12K, right? If you make one sale a month, one client a month. And so I think a better mindset is, instead of to look at all the reasons why it's not a good time, I think if you look at all the reasons why it is a good time, I think you'll find yourself seeing the other side of the coin, which is, if you can be one of these guys who gets attention, even if it's just a year from now, if you put in work for a year, even if a year from now you get to a point where you're getting 10,000 views a month on you, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, whatever, if 10,000 views turns into one client, tell me what that's worth. One client to me would be 12, 15K of income.
Mine would be a little bit more, because I'm in San Francisco and I got like the lowest homes are selling for like $1 million right now. So
there you go. Yeah, 2.5% of that's 25 grand. Yeah,
exactly.
So one client a month is 25 grand.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
and with social media too, you could even be a referral. Even if you have like a job, you could just be an agent and refer people. So people are like, oh, I love your stuff. Refer them to your broker, which is what I do. I get a commission for everyone I refer to my broker. You can also get affiliate offers. So anything in real estate where you affiliate with, you can make money that way too.
Interesting. Yeah, dude. Thank you. I needed that positive side.
Yeah, watch some people on YouTube who get attention for real estate. There's a guy out here in Vegas that he's no longer an agent. Like he doesn't do agent work, but he gets a lot of eyeballs on YouTube, and he makes like $2 million a year.
Oh, is that the guy with the podcast? What was his name? I know you're talking about. He has a podcast.
Chalk Eats.
Yeah, Chalk Eats. Okay, so
how do you spell that?
CHAKITS.
Hey, Ramsey, I'll tell you one other person who's going to be really easy to get a hold of. Hit up Jeremy Green Lewis. I think that's his name.
Green Lewis. Cool.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys ever. He did this over 10 years ago. He started doing walkthroughs on Facebook, and he's made a killing in real estate from doing that. He doesn't have a huge following. Now he teaches a course literally on how to use social media in order to become a better real estate agent.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yep. Yeah, those guys are great.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
More people are joining the call now, and there's more people. There's more people in the watching us on the live stream. Anybody else have any questions? I don't want to keep Spencer too long without any questions here. Anybody else? Oh, here we go. Here's some questions. Somebody raised their hand. Looks like Cole. Saul, what's your question?
Spencer, you said something interesting. You said that you believe social media is even in its infancy. And in part of MOA, we're taught that abundance is always the answer. And in relation to in the past, someone else already asked the question saying that they believe it's difficult to find a place in the medias. Do you believe that it's possible to just being by your unique self but imitating what has worked in the past, that you can replicate the results? Or is just that too blatant because people can very easily compare that, oh, he's just doing it because that guy did it, so you lose your credibility very quickly?
Can you figure out what the first question is? You kind of went out down two different paths.
Oh, my bad. I mean specifically, do you believe, let's go like this. Does your credibility get questioned if you just imitate somebody completely flat out, even though you believe your unique self is yourself?
No, not at all. Eric's one of the best YouTubers, and he's clearly a Mr. Beast clone. So are a lot of people who are on YouTube. No, the best way to grow on YouTube, if we're talking about that within that context, is to figure out 3 people succeeding at what you want to do and figure out exactly what they're doing and essentially do it with a twist, with your own twist, whatever that unique twist is for you. For the longest time, I thought I didn't have the personality. I wasn't good looking enough. I wasn't charismatic enough, all this shit. And I used to just be so sad with myself because I was like, I'm not charismatic enough. I would see Logan Paul doing all this shit, dancing and all this. I'm like, man, I'm not cool enough. I'm not funny enough, whatever. Come to find out.
Does that make you feel crazy, bro? When
I know.
You see him doing this shit?
Well, come to find out, like, I'm so rational and reasonable, and I find my content so fucking boring. But people love it. They're like, I love how reasonable and objective you are. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because the world is so large. All it takes is like 0.00001% of people to like you. And you can amass a massive following. I'm not ever going to be super entertaining guy, but I have my niche because I'm who I am. And there's a certain amount of people in the world who like that. Now, certainly my credibility, or excuse me, not credibility, my ceiling is not as high as a Logan Paul. Those guys who are entertaining will always have a bigger audience. Yeah, 1,000 true fans. Yep, exactly. It's always a good article to read. I read that like 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It's good to keep in mind.
For real,
thank you.
It's true. Yeah, that's. But
look,
true.
what is original, by the way? Like, I think that's essentially what you're getting at is like, does your credibility get lost because you're maybe copying someone or heavily influenced by someone? Who's original? Like, who's actually original? Like on YouTube, there's maybe 10 or 20 people. Like Mr. Beast is one. But if I told you to spend the next day finding 10 or 20 people, it'd be really hard. Everyone is a heavily influenced by others. I hope I answered your question.
No, you did. Dude. Noted.
That's great.
Thank you.
That was awesome. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that was something I was worried about too, is like, am I going to have enough followers in order to build this business? And then when we started getting the returns back, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Because you realize if you really do help people, that word of mouth is going to be the most important thing that's able to help you. Does that make sense? The other thing is like the negative press. This is the other thing Spencer has been able to grasp is the negative press just gets more people to come to your deal
ecosystem,
right?
your
exactly.
world.
Like I can tell you, I should probably send an affiliate check to JMOV because I got clients from his video, even though like very few people watched it. Like literally what happened was he had to explain in the next video why I'm with so many hot girls in my Instagram, because that was probably one of the questions he got after he made that video about me. He's like, why does it look like he's really successful with women? It's because I am. And there was no way for him to explain that away. And so it actually backfired where, seriously, I could probably point out, ask him to put an affiliate link in there. So I'm going to send JMO an affiliate link so he can make some money. Cause I actually am selling my course because of his videos. It's been, a podcast with JMO. The problem, Ramsey, with doing a podcast with someone like that is that you can't really have a discussion with someone where they keep moving the goalposts. Does that make sense? Like Spencer and I, we have rational beliefs, right? Spencer and I want to be successful. To us, successful is a level of financial freedom and making more money than less money and having more free time than less. Like there's very clear things and neither of us are extremely judgmental. Neither of us are out there calling people, messed up words, using, slang, using the N-word, or calling people, horrible names. We kind of have the same beliefs. So the goalposts for us are the same. If Spencer told me, hey, I tried this new thing and I made $10 million on it, I'd be like, holy shit, let's have a discussion about that. Because the goalposts for Spencer and I are very clear. Success, without judgment, success. If you have a conversation with someone like J-Mole, the conversation is going to be, I'm gonna be like, well, I'm successful. And he's like, yes, but did you fuck this girl, this girl, this girl, this girl? And it's like, I don't know if you did. And then it's like, but I fucked this girl. It's like, well, okay, but that's not my definition. Then you're a fucking loser. And then we go back and forth. It's like, where are the goalposts? I don't know what game we're playing. Is the field initiate aligned this way, or is it aligned this? I don't even know what game we're playing. So a discussion between he and I would be very much like Pierce Morgan and Kanye West, where it was like, no one know, like we're just interrupting each other. That's the reason why I wouldn't do it. Also, I really don't want to platform a guy who's that hateful. He's just a very, very scary individual. So anyway, the goalpost is his lake count. That's hilarious. Colton, what's your question?
Yeah, Spencer had talked about eyeballs. So what have you guys found, and both of you guys can answer this question, but what have you guys found is kind of like a good strategy for getting lots of eyeballs? Michael, you talked about like when your social media lady posted like 3 reels a day, but also like the content itself. Like what are you finding in those 90-second reels that's like keeps them watching from the get-go? Because I feel like we have less attention than goldfish these days.
I heard something interesting yesterday that actually changed my belief on that opinion, which I shared for a long time, which is we have a lower attention span. We actually have the same attention span, which is why all of us can sit down and watch 8 episodes of an awesome Netflix show. We have a consideration span, which is we have so many different pieces of content that we're always considering whether I should continue at this piece of content or possibly switch to others. I just thought that was interesting, so I'm sharing. For me, my content is very, very, very targeted at retention. I don't waste a single second. And there's plenty of times where I have a really funny clip or I have something in my video. If I don't feel like it's actually leading to a better video or a conclusion that I'm trying to reach by the end of the video, then I'll just remove it. Even though some people say a longer video is better because you get more watch time and yada, yada, yada. I'll just remove it. I make the videos as short as they need to be. So I think something that you can think about with social media is always put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Is the consumer enjoying this? Like, of course, we're all egotistical. When we put something out, we think it's, oh my God, this is the best quote I've ever had. This is the best video I've ever made. But realistically, like as the average person on the street, if you give it to your neighbor, are they going to find it interesting? And if they don't, can you ask yourself questions like, how do I make it more interesting? Is there anything I can do to this video to make it more interesting or entertaining? Okay. I think that's the first step is number one, making better content, better being quantified as, is it entertaining to your audience or educational? Whatever your end goal is. Yeah, I think that's the best place to start.
Okay, so removing the fluff, because like books have a lot of fluff, right?
Yes, exactly.
Except for like Power Now, like that's like every sentence is like gold, right? But you're saying remove all the fluff from.
Exactly. That's what I kind of railed at Michael jokingly earlier because he was going on tangents, and it was my retention within me was like, oh my God, people are gonna fall off the call because this is not interesting.
More people jumped on, man.
Every 5 or 8 seconds, I'm always trying to go to something new because I'm trying to keep the content engaging. I think that is the best way of making content in 2022. You can watch some of the most successful creators and reverse engineer what they do. And you'll see that retention is always the goal because if you can keep audiences.
Curiosity.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Curiosity high.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're selling something, assuming you're not going to make the sales pitch early, you're probably going to want to make it midway or to the end of the call or excuse me, the content. You're going to need to keep them there. If 100 people click your video and only 20 stay till the middle, well, you only really got 20 views to your offer.
Yeah, that's true. Michael, have you found similar things or anything different? Thank you, by the way. That was super helpful.
Specifically, which referring to what?
So I was asking about, he made the comment about eyeballs earlier. The more eyeballs you have, the more you're gonna, so what have you found to like, when did you see the really increase in
remember the first examples I gave when I started posting those clips. You live in a country where your president fucked a porn star while his wife was pregnant. You live in a country where they made a movie about a dude who scammed a bunch of people with pink slips and said, I'm not leaving, who fucked hundreds of prostitutes and took Quaaludes and became 10 orders of magnitude more famous after he went to jail for 15 months. You live in a country where a man stabbed his wife 63 times and now has a Twitter that millions of people follow. right after O.J. Simpson murdered his wife. You live in a country where one of the most famous decathletes of all time transitioned into becoming a woman, then killed someone in a DUI, and no one gives a shit about it. And you're worried. The point is, Colton, there's no negative part to eyeballs. There's no, do you understand? I know this is going to sound so fucked up. If Jeffrey Epstein had gotten out of jail, people would be going up and taking pictures with him.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you.
If Bernie Madoff got out of jail,
hide your kids, hide your wife, right?
Yeah. If Bernie Madoff had gotten out of jail and come out with a sales program, every sales guy would have bought it.
Yeah, I'm not saying the eyeballs are bad. I'm saying, what have you seen with MOA that's helped you? Like, what did you make any changes? Like you said, like, oh, three reels, they really helped me. You know, attention wise, how did you?
So the first thing was actually Bilzerian who told me this. It was like, it's got on TikTok, it's got to be in the first 3 seconds, something interesting has to happen. This is really interesting because Spencer's really good at this with his YouTube videos. I'm not good at this with my YouTube videos. Spencer's like, for me on my reels, some of them go viral. And the reason why is because in the first 3 seconds, something has to happen. I have to constantly tell this to my social media manager because a lot of times she wants to provide context at the beginning of the 90-second clip. And I keep reminding her, we cannot provide context. The first 3 seconds has to say cocaine, prostitute, threesome, you know what I'm saying? Explosion, scam, fight, violence, boobies. The first 3 seconds has to have the big word, aliens, you know what I'm saying? George Soros, Alex Jones. The first 3 seconds has to go bam, Andrew Tate, 3 seconds. And so a lot of times she doesn't hear that. And it'll be like, hey guys, let me ask you a question. And I'm like, Shar, cut that out. The part where I said, hey guys, let me ask you a question, that's got to get cut out immediately. I only care about the beginning though. Whereas Spencer, his whole video, he narrows down to where there's no fat at all. For me, I only care about the first 3 seconds. I don't even care how they end. That's probably the thing that I've learned that helps me the most. The other thing is like how Spencer talks about there's a narrow ceiling. For me, not quite as narrow ceiling because I do cover physics and I do cover psychology and I do cover dating and I do cover economics and I do cover endocrinology like testosterone and I do cover fitness. There's a lot of different areas that I can go in, like more plates, more dates. I plan on having him on the podcast. So stuff like that. That is helpful. But at the same time, it also is harmful because I'm going to have a fucking video game streamer come on the podcast next month. Ciabatta Mitch, the guy's a fucking lunatic. But a lot of people who watch the Playboy models aren't going to want to watch Ciabatta Mitch. Does that make sense? The reason why I do that, is because who's the most popular YouTuber in the world?
Beast.
No, the most popular YouTuber in the world is Joe Rogan. I'm sorry, YouTuber. I meant to say podcast. Your Beast is the most popular YouTuber. Most popular podcaster in the world is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan will have a neurobiologist on one week and a comedian on the next. And so one guy may watch one and then turn off the other one. Does that make sense? For me, I can't handle 3 hours of Joe Rogan. So it's just Elon Musk, Neil deGrasse Tyson, or some guy who's, Andrew Huberman. Those are the only ones I can watch the whole thing. Does that make sense? So that's what I've learned. And then the other thing is to clip it down. Spencer doesn't have to do this because his videos are like under 15 minutes, most of them. I now have a team of 3 guys and they're cutting down my videos into 10-minute segments. And then they're posting those once a day. And where did I learn that from? Rollo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit. I learned that from watching Joe Rogan Experience. And who's the fourth one? No Jumper. Those guys have clip channels. Their clip channels grow faster than their original channels because they're doing YouTube 10-minute clips. 10-minute YouTube clips. That's exactly right.
On the shorts or just regular?
No. Shorts are 1 minute.
1 minute.
Short clips can be as long as you want. Around 10 minutes or 14. I say between 3 and 14 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. Again, I don't know. I'm just learning like everyone else. But that's what I've learned to do to keep people's attention. Because I know when you guys see me and Rollo Tomasi and it says 4 hours and 8 minutes, you're like, fuck, 4 hours? Which is why I put timestamps in there. The timestamps help a lot. But when you guys see Rollo Tomasi and we're talking about Tom Brady and Giselle Munchin and you see it's 8 minutes, like, oh, okay, fuck it, I can do 8 minutes. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying? So that's the other thing that I've learned. But I'm attacking it from every angle. And because the company is doing so well financially, I can afford to try all these different angles. And I don't need sponsors for my podcast because MOA is doing so well. So that's the reason why. If I had to do it from this podcast perspective only, it would be much more difficult. I'd have to cut my podcast down to an hour. There'd be a bunch of other considerations that I make, but I don't do that because my clientele reads a fucking ton of books and has a lot. You guys are pretty, like, you guys have a higher than average IQ. You guys are more educated than the average person. You guys make more money than the average people. And because of that, and you guys read more books than the average people, my content is built for you. It's not built for them. Does that make sense? That Dr. David Buss interview is one of the greatest interviews I've ever seen, much less that I've done. I'm not trying to brag. I think that that Dr. Buss interview, I go back and watch it. I'm like, fuck, man, I learned so much from interviewing him. But for most 99% of people, they're like, this is garbage. Like, what do I need? I don't even know who this guy is. He's even been on Joe Rogan. I don't care.
Do you text your girlfriends after that? Like that was hands down one of the best performances I've ever given.
I'm
not bragging, but you mean
when I have sex with them?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, I just want to apologize. I have texted a girl this. I was like, I want to apologize for being so incredibly good in bed and ruining you for every man for the rest of your life. I have definitely said that before.
That's
definitely
hilarious.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Cool. Anybody else have any questions? We've gone 2 hours. This is awesome.
Michael, can I ask a follow-up on what you just said?
Go ahead.
So maybe we didn't mention that, but what's really your goal with all the content you're creating? Because it's not really niched, right? It's all over the place.
Hey, so here's the thing, Billy, can we keep these questions to Spencer?
Okay.
You've got me 4 more times this week.
Okay. I'll ask you next time. That's
Just
cool.
keep it to Spencer. Anybody else have any questions for Spencer? Cool. Rolo is saying 8 to 12 minutes is the sweet spot. 8 minutes is monetizable. What do you say, Spencer? For your video links?
One of the highest earning YouTubers made 4-minute videos.
Yeah.
David Dobrik. I say that only to throw you a curveball, but yeah. So at 8 minutes, you can throw in what are called mid-roll ads on YouTube. And so that's what he's indicating with monetizable. You will make more from AdSense. However, every piece of content's monetizable. As you alluded to earlier, you've seen 7-figure earners with fewer than 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, dude, I just did my first $1,000 month and I was pretty happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anywhere near as, I have 1/20th as many followers as you. Is that right? 4 times. Yeah, something like that. And I just finally did $1,000 a month. So, I'm slowly growing. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. No timestamps. Yeah, I just had a guy said, I see 4 hours of Rollo and Michael, and I'm wishing it was 5. So my niche audience is very different than Spencer's, but I like Spencer's videos because when I see how short they are, I set them at double speed and I just get through them so fast. And I understand that he's not going to waste my time. There's some sales guys that kind of have to walk you into it. How you doing? What are you doing today? You having a good day? They have to grease you up. And there's some people that are like, I want to buy. When I go into the Tesla dealer later on next year, when I go buy a Tesla, I don't want you to fucking sell me. Just give me the goddamn car as fast as possible. When I go buy my iPhone 14 next week, do not try to tell me what features are on the motherfucker. Give me the phone as fast as possible. That's what Spencer does. He gives you the info as fast. For me, it's like, hey, listen, I need to explain to you the history of evolutionary psychology, who Leah Cosmides and Martin Daly are, David Buss, Satoshi Kanazawa. We have to go through this whole thing, and I have to bring you through the anthropological record of Homo sapiens, and then we get to the reason why your fucking girlfriend cheated on you. And that's a 3-hour process. See what I'm saying? That's where the difference is. Cool. Anybody else? Man, you should read these live. When you get a chance, Spence, go back and read the live stream. Dude, they are going hard on me and you.
All right. Come on, bring it on. I want to hear
guys,
it.
Here's the thing. A couple things. I want, because I know, Spence, you're trying to get big on Instagram. So I'm going to put up, Spence, I'm going to put up your Instagram here real quick so people can check that out. I want you guys to make sure you.
It'd be nice. I don't care too much, but it's always cool. It always helps when you meet a chick and she sees some number next to your name. It's like, oh, you're kind of a big deal, but it's all stupid.
You know what? It's stupid until you go to.
But it's real, though.
It is real.
It is real. It's real media, real social media.
All right. So guys, I want you guys to check out, this is Spencer's IG right here, Spencer Cornelia. Make sure you check him out on there. And then also his YouTube is already set up there. Hey, Spence, you know what? You might want to think about, I know David Dobrik he's a partner in it too. Getting a Hoobie link instead of going directly to your YouTube, because then you can see the link, your analytics going back to your YouTube from Instagram, number one. And number two, if you want to sell a course or have any kind of affiliate, you can put it on the same thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Didn't consider that, but yeah.
So let's just say here, I'll show you guys just so you can see exactly what I do. I would say that link in bio on my Instagram is probably at this point right now, maybe 65% of my income comes from this one link. So you see the link right there, Hoobie. I learned about this from some buddies of mine, the guy who runs Unruly, but David Dobrik, I met him because he is one of the partners in Hoobie. So here is my Hoobie link. Yeah, here's my Hoobie link. You see, founder of Michael Sartain podcast, founder of Men of Action, and then you can put these pictures up here. So this is it, learn how to go to MOA. Here's my podcast. Then it goes, here's the free Monday Zoom call link, Men of Action Discord, all this kind of stuff. If you want to work for us, and then if I just click here and log in, see if I can log. I might not be able to log in from here. Let me see if I can. There you go. You can just click here and see your analytics.
Oh, that's
So
dope.
my click-through rate is 64%. But here's the thing for you: if you want to see specifically who else going from your Facebook to your so you go to see full insights. If you want to see who's going from your Instagram directly to your YouTube, you could just click on links right here, and then it will just show you specifically where they're coming from and where they're going. Make sense?
Very cool.
And then you just click social over here, and you can see I'm getting a lot of people are going to my YouTube, and then here's your Spotify and all these different places. Yep. So I'd highly recommend trying that out.
Will do.
Rather than just going straight to your YouTube, because you don't get any analytics from that.
Correct.
Yep. Beautiful. Cool. Anybody else have any questions for Spencer? Cool. Tane's got tricks and trackability. Anybody else? I'm trying to read these comments on the live stream. This is pretty awesome. Yeah, a lot of people, man. This is the most people. Right now at 2 hours and 12 minutes, we have the most people on the live stream we've had at any point. This is what I was saying before about the live stream grows over time, which I thought is really cool. Instagram's the opposite. It'll like fall off over time. So I thought that was really cool. Also, the live streams, as far as the money I'm making, obviously it's not compared. You're getting like 400,000 views a video. I'm lucky to get like 30, 40,000 views. This is actually paying more. These live streams seem to pay pretty well too. So
does well for Fresh and Fit.
Pretty well. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but they also get the what's it called, the super chats.
Yep.
Yeah, which is really, really awesome. And dude, guys, getting paid off Instagram, I thought it was going to be difficult. And AdSense just direct deposit to my bank account every month or so, something like that. I can't remember what it is. It has to be a certain amount of money that gets in there before they give you your first payment, though. I will tell you that. And it's not a ton of money. Like, they don't pay very well, but you can, if you get if you post enough videos. That's the other thing I noticed is if I have like 17, 18 videos up in a month, you will get paid more from that. So that part is pretty cool. All right, there's no more questions, man. I'm going to let Spencer go. Spencer, you can hang out if you want. These guys are going to ask me questions for probably another hour, and then I'm going to go to dinner with Rollo.
Nice.
No, hey, dude, listen,
I'll hop off.
You got to hit me out sometime, and I'll take you and me, some girls will go to Area 15.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be good time.
Thanks for having me on. I'm glad people cared about what I had to say. It's always cool.
Of course, dude. Of course, man. Of course. Hey, one other thing. If you're interested, dude, Babes in Toyland, December 1st in Los Angeles. Let me know if you want to come.
Ooh. Okay. I'll consider.
Okay. It's not a loud, crazy nightclub type of shit. It's a charity event. We'll
fly Jet Suite X. How about that?
For sure. Yeah. It's the way to go. I'll fly with you. I'm gonna go out there and do interviews. It'll be a good time. All right, man. Talk to you soon, brother.
See you, everyone. Nice to meet everyone.
All right, awesome, man. Make sure you guys follow Spencer. Make sure you check him out. All right, questions for me now. Raise your hand if you guys have questions for me specifically. Also, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you appreciated having Spencer on. If you want me to have more guests like this on. Last time we had Rollo on. This time we have Spencer. I'm thinking about asking a couple people. Justin Waller for sure. I'm definitely going to have probably Mr. Lucario, because Mr. Lucario and I have very different views when it comes to like attraction. Not different, but like he believes in something a lot more strongly than me. So I want to have him on. Also, Mr. Lucario talks a lot about like race, which is something we don't talk about in MOA at all. He definitely believes that different socioeconomic groups react differently in game. And it's a discussion. I don't necessarily, it's not that I skipped. I've just never had this discussion before. So I definitely want to have him on because I think it'll be interesting. I do want to have Kindly Myers on at some point. Yeah, Ramsey, we'll definitely work on that one. See if I can pull that one off. Beautiful. Kevin Ray Wilder put a 2 in the chat. That's hilarious. Dude, can you imagine like being that big of a fan? So like you're sitting there hating on me on YouTube, and you're hating on me on YouTube, and you've been watching the channel for 2.5 hours. Can you guys imagine like being that big of a dick rider that you would actually do that? Like, can you imagine? He's literally on here right now. He's fucking like talking shit about my program. And he's saying stuff about the program like all we do is teach how to host events, and you have to pay all this money for these events. And he's doing all this stuff. And he's doing it to the guys who are in the program. Do you understand? It's like me going to Ty Buchanan and getting on a live chat with Ty Buchanan and telling Ty that his name's not Ty. No, your name's not, like, you understand what I'm saying? Your shirt's not green. Like, that's how stupid this guy looks right now. It's hilarious. It's really cool. But hey, I want to say thank you, Kevin Ray Wilder. You got the link right there so that you can become an affiliate and you can actually make some money because you're actually helping me. L for Kevin. Kevin, you've actually helped me sell a couple of spots in MOA. So I want to thank you. So you can get paid if you go ahead and click that affiliate link and, just become a fan because that's what you are anyway. Cool. Let's keep it going. Anybody have any questions? Some of you had questions for me that I wanted to wait till the end. If you have questions, it's time to hit them up now. Kevin Ray Wilder, you're a scammer, bud. See, this is what I love about this. So every time he says you're a scammer, and of course he provides no evidence at all, what it does is, okay, so I'm a scammer. So go to my Instagram, go on MOA Mentoring. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Let's do this. MOA Mentoring.com. Cool. I just posted MOAmentoring.com. If you guys think I'm a scammer, go to MOAmentoring.com. And then it's fine if you think I'm a scammer. Just explain away everything you see there. Kevin Ray Wilder said, I'm not a fan of the scam. Well, that's the problem, Kevin. You haven't looked at my program at all. Like you have no idea what you're talking about because you keep saying things that are equivocally not true. Michael wouldn't have to spend a dime. That's pretty funny. Hey, Kevin, here's another thing. You've been on here for 2.5 hours. Why don't you just jump on the Zoom and then just ask your questions live? Or are you that scared? Everybody, let's put some chickens in the chat for Kevin. This is fun. I'm having a good time here. Chicken. Here we go. Here we go, Kevin. That's for you, buddy. Kevin, why don't you jump on the call? Just jump on. Hey guys, put a link in the chat for the Zoom call. Let's have Kevin come on. Kevin, come on live. You don't even have to turn your camera on. I know you don't want to do that. Turn your camera on. Let's go. That's funny. All right, here we go. Colton, what's your question?
Yeah, can you talk about the summit that's coming up?
Yeah, for sure. So the summit is going to be, Rollo and I are going to be speaking. I think Miguel is going to be speaking too. And then afterwards, we're going to fucking Roll and Smoke barbecue. And we're going to get fucking so full on barbecue sauce, we're going to die. That's basically what's going to happen. It's just it's an opportunity for me to meet you guys. Really, obviously, we didn't want to charge that much. I think it's like $150 or something like that. We just had to pay for the space. I just wanted a place where I know a lot of you guys don't want to do immersion and stay out here for a week, but I wanted to meet several of you face to face, and that was really important to me. Also, that night, as a bonus for all you guys who come to Summit. That night, Rollo Tomasi, myself, and 4 girls are going to do a live stream from Sticky Paw Studios. All of you guys are invited to Sticky Paws. Come hang out. We got cookies. You know what? What I recommend you guys do if you want to. This is not for everyone. It's completely optional. If you guys want to go out instead, you can. Order a pizza to Sticky Paws. We'll put you in the green room. You guys can watch the whole live stream live with us. You can come in and out of the room, hang out with us. There's going to be some girls there, like I said before. If you guys are interested in becoming YouTubers, 100% you need to go to this. 100%. Rollo has taught me so much, it's ridiculous. Okay. That's the first thing I'll recommend. Second thing I'll tell you is if you guys are interested in making money using YouTube, I recommend that you guys come. Or if you guys have always just wanted to see the YouTube space or the podcast space, come. It's going to be Friday night, 10 p.m. You guys are all invited to Sticky Paw Studios. Just come in, hang out. There's a room where you can actually watch the whole thing live, or a few of you guys can actually come in the room with us while we're filming the podcast, the live stream, and then afterwards we'll go out. We'll go out to whatever club.
Is it your podcast location? Is where
yes, you guys are going to watch. You're going to be in the room while I'm doing the podcast. Yeah,
that's dope. Yeah.
If you guys are interested, any of you who are interested in doing a podcast, 100%, this is not optional for you. You absolutely should come to this. There's so much that I can show you. And then afterwards, we can hang out and talk in there for a little bit. Just go in the green room. I don't expect all of you guys to come, maybe 10 of you to come. That would be totally fine. We can't have all 10 of you in the room while we're filming, but, I think it would be kind of a cool thing. So that's what we're going to do that night. So
are there any upsells or is it just not upsells, like VIP packages that you can purchase?
I just want to hang out with you guys.
Okay.
Guys, can I be honest with you, Colton?
Yeah.
This is a really scalable program for me, right? For our company. So these live events, we don't make that much money, but I want to meet you guys face to face. You guys understand it doesn't really make sense financially for me to have a live-in program. You know what I'm saying? I always have a roommate who's the
VIP experiences are always better. That's why I ask, right? You get more out of them.
The VIP experiences, we're going to go to Sapphire and I'll introduce you to a bunch of girls. We're just going to have a good fucking time. I don't care. We're going to go to Sapphire. We're going to order some fucking Mexican food and just hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you guys, now, if you don't want to do that Friday night, if you guys are there for immersion and you want to go out to a club Friday night, we have guest lists for you to get it, guys to get in every club. One of the things when you join MOA, you do have concierge to get into every nightclub for free. Not every nightclub, but a nightclub every night for free in Las Vegas. That is not an issue for us at all. We can get you on almost any guest list. I work for Tao Hakkasan, and I work closely with Resorts World, and I work closely with the Win Nightlife. So we can get you in pretty much anywhere.
Nice. That's dope.
Jay Stone, many MOA students have this. Let's just, dude, I just want to read Kevin Ray Wilder's shit. It's so funny. Hold on. What does it say here? It's like paying thousands to hang out with models for 2 hours. That's so funny, dude. What is he talking about, dude? Buddy with Jordan. Hey guys, so here's the thing. Will you guys do this for me? Just so we can I know I shouldn't care so much. Will you guys, if you've thrown an event and you got the location for free, will you please go on the live stream right now and just tell Kevin he's a moron? Like, it's just so crazy. He's basically saying that the entirety of the program is me teaching you guys to throw events. He doesn't realize that in the beginning of the program, I tell you guys don't throw events. It's so crazy. Hakkasan is amazing. That's funny. Cool. Yeah, if you guys have any testimonials, just put them in the live chat. I can't deal with it. I can't text back and forth with this moron and talk to you guys at the same time. Nate, what's your question?
So like one of the biggest culture shocks to me, after leaving the US was like how men try to feel like men by like protecting and providing for people. And in the US, I feel like this has kind of changed. Like roles of like the traditional roles of masculinity are not really present anymore. And I'm just curious, like, since you're probably like one of the oldest people here, like how has that changed during your lifetime? Like
so I mean, it's a function of, okay, so there's the macro belief, which is basically the welfare state basically paid women to not have men in their lives. And so then the amount of single parent households went up pretty drastically. And you had a lot of women who had to be the mother and the father. And one of the things that they taught a lot of these children is that men are bad because men have desires, right? So in the 80s, we looked at Magnum PI. In the 2000s, remember the aughts, we had Californication. And now that type of masculinity is like laughed at, and it's made fun of. The idea of having sports cars, like if you look at the way Maverick acted, Tom Cruise acted in the first Top Gun movie, you could never do that again. He follows a woman into the woman's bathroom. Do you guys remember that? Now, even that to me is like a little bit off base. The thing is, Nate, what's happened is those things, there's a line to be crossed. Like, Nate, there are dudes out there that abuse their position. They really do. Harvey Weinstein was a real horrible piece of shit. But that kind of thing does happen. The problem is, like, when I want to go, Nate, I will make a prediction for you. It will get worse, not better. And the very act of TRT, or the very act of doing things to increase your testosterone level, will be considered toxic masculinity in and of itself, right? Like you eating wild yams to get, you know what I'm saying? Or going to the gym all the time, it's going to be considered toxically masculine. I mean, I just think what's happened over time is that there's a small disenfranchised group that wants to sort of fight back. And in doing so, they've vilified a lot of things that used to not be vilified. Because, Nate, what's happened is the reason why those gender roles existed in the first place is because they were necessary for survival. And the reality is, Nate, they're not necessary for survival anymore, especially in the United States, because the welfare, actually, a lot of Norwegian countries are like that too. Nordic countries are like that too, where the state has so many, what's the word I'm looking for? Pitfalls. The state has so many, what's the word? Safety nets, that a lot of women don't legitimately, it's not that they don't think they need men. They legitimately don't need men from a financial standpoint to help them. And as a result, we're ending up with a lot of, I find it somewhat problematic to see Machine Gun Kelly in a pink dress. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from that. Does that make sense? And I don't hate Machine Gun Kelly, and I certainly have no problem with homosexual men. But the reason is homosexual men are not trying to make me homosexual, right? Homosexual men are awesome. They're just like everyone else. The problem is the agenda that's telling me I'm wrong for being heterosexual. You see the difference, Nate? That's where I think we're drawing the line. It's like, I've never had an issue. I've always known gay people. I've always known trans people. It was never an issue. The issue became when I was the bad guy for not being gay or trans. The issue became when, do you guys remember that one porn star who hung herself because she made a tweet one time saying that she deserved to know whether or not that the male performers that she was performing with were having sex with other men. And because of that, a bunch of gay rights activists like bashed her, and then she hung herself in the woods. I remember August Ames was her name. I remember this. They did a documentary on Audible specifically about her killing herself. It's a terrible, terrible situation. Yeah, the best book on what you're talking about, Nate, is The Coddling of the American Mind by who wrote the Happiness Hypothesis? I can't remember.
Jonathan Haidt.
Jonathan Haidt. So The Coddling of the American Mind goes over this. Basically, it's a combination of several things: lower testosterone rates, and the use of cell phones in order to communicate, and the ability to communicate anonymously. Like, I'll give you a great example, like Jay Stone and this Kevin Ray Wilder guy. They would never say any of these things to my face because they can now, because they live in a society now where they can make anonymous statements, and they know that they're not going to suffer any punishment for it. Which, by the way, I will bet you remember that guy who got punched by Mike Tyson on that airplane? I will bet you if we go through his internet history, we're going to find that same guy made YouTube comments talking shit to people. And I think he forgot himself and thought that he was going to talk shit to Mike Tyson and nothing would happen to him because he probably made YouTube comments and nothing had happened to him. And then Mike Tyson hit him in the face. That's essentially what happened. And just like the same thing with like these guys on the live stream, they would never say any of these things to my face. And so what's happened is they've learned how to communicate in a very passive aggressive beta manner by posting, avatars and doing this kind of stuff. Whereas, Nate, the thing is, the internet, because it didn't exist when I was growing up, if we had a problem, we had to deal with it in a masculine man-to-man kind of way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sounds like a very complex issue. So like the
it is a complex issue, but here's the other thing, Nate. You're also not a super short dude who has a problem, who had like testicular issues growing up or some hormonal issue. You're like a normally adjusted male. There's a lot of males who aren't normally adjusted, and they want to sit there and they want to punch up. Does that make sense? They want to punch up. I understand that I'm a big 6'2", 225-pound man who from Texas. I understand that. And so a lot of people need to punch up to me. Does that make sense? This is one of the reasons why the complaints that I hear, like, I don't disagree with Sneeko or Rich Cooper's assessment about a feminized society. I don't disagree with it. I would just rather be a man. God, dude, it's so great being a man. I disagree with them in some aspects. I think it is so awesome being a man right now. And the other thing is, Nate, selfishly, I have never had an easier time meeting women than at this point in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I go to these events with 70 girls, and the hottest ones like me. Not the kind of hottest one, the very most attractive women at these events like me. And the reason why is because of what you're saying before. It's because so many men are looking at Machine Gun Kelly, because so many men are being taught that they should embrace wearing makeup and expressing themselves all the time, showing their inner feminine side to women. That's what they're being told to do. And because of that, like, so many men are out there just like being told, no, you need to make posts hating Andrew Tate so that women will like you. They're being taught that. Well, those guys are my competition. Well, Nate, they're not even competition. You know that too. I'm sure you're experiencing something very similar. Your masculinity as a contrast, as a delta, is even greater than it would have been previously. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely much easier.
Well, sure. So the thing is, from my standpoint, I always, I say this before, fix the world by fixing your block. So for us, what I'm going to fix is the guys, or what I'm going to deal with are the guys in MOA. We're going to hold the guys in Men of Action. We hold ourselves accountable. And that's the guys outside of MOA. We can't do that. That's why rule number one is we don't listen to the words, because people outside of MOA, all they do is talk, and they lie. People inside of MOA, you guys understand, inside of Men of Action. Here, this one's for Kevin Ray Wilder. Inside of MOA, what do we say? I will not lie, cheat, or steal, nor will I tolerate anyone amongst us who does. So excellence, what did we say before? We say service before, integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Those are the credos that we have in Men of Action. We talk about not being passive aggressive. We talk about the communication is the responsibility of who? Guys, unmute yourself. Communication in MOA. Communication is the responsibility of who?
The sender.
The sender. Communication is responsibility of sender. We talk about that in MOA frequently, right? We talk about passive aggressive communication versus direct communication in MOA. And we talk about the tenets of evolutionary psychology in Men of Action, right? And so because of that, inside of Men of Action, we hold each other accountable. But that's all we can do as men, Nate. I don't think we can change all men. I don't. I think the best that we can do is keep it to our group of a few thousand and just do the best that we can. Now, here's another thing I'm going to tell you. Everyone who's exposed to this type of content can be in the 1%. I think you can. I think you can.
Yeah, I wasn't really trying to like say anything about changing the world or anything. It was just like weird to me that like in some parts of the world, like that aren't as wealthy as America, mostly, it's like the men actually feel offended if they don't get to feel like men. And in America, like the men don't actually care at all. So if I look at like the guys I know back home, or like guys that some of my friends back home are dating, it's like they have no inherent desire to be masculine. And it's just
but because they're not being pushed. But Nate, think of us as biological creatures and think about the carrot and the stick. It is a function of stimulus, right? You do understand like certain socioeconomic groups, I'm not going to go into specifics, but certain ethnicities have more testosterone than others in general. You know that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Right. Okay. So the reason why that is because of natural selection. It's because in the societies, in the ancestral societies that they grew up in, there was more of a necessity for them to have higher testosterone levels, right? Or let me explain to you like this, Nate. What happens, guys, unmute yourselves if you understand the answer to this. When a man gets married, what happens to his testosterone levels?
It drops.
They drop. When he gets divorced, what happens to his testosterone levels?
They go back up.
They go back up. Okay, so you understand natural selection selects for these type of things. There's also studies that show when a man is with a woman, she gets pregnant, his prolactin levels increase, his fat retention increases, because evolution or natural selection knows this man is going to have a lot of sleepless nights, so we're going to increase his fat content so he can maintain his energy levels. That's the reason why. So when we see stuff like that, you have to understand, Nate, when you say these men have no desire to become masculine, it's because the stimulus that they're going through, the cauldron, the fucking, the crucible that is their life isn't much of a crucible. If you and I were in a constant survival scenario, Nate, we're constantly killing for our food to eat and feeding our families, and we were constantly in some sort of, ancestral tribal situation, our testosterone levels would be through the roof. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
When we live in a situation where we get validation through pornography, and we live in a situation where we get validation through television, and we sit on our couch and we don't have to go to the gym, and we can make somewhat of a success, like $40,000, $50,000. $50,000 a year is enough to afford McDonald's, right? McDonald's could essentially give you all the sugar, salt, fat, and carbs you could ever want. It's enough to kill yourself. So since we understand we live in that non-ancestral environment, what does that mean? That means that we're not pushed to have high testosterone levels. Whenever you look at any sort of Inuit Indian or anyone who comes from an ancestral environment and you expose them, so this would be like Aboriginal people in Australia. When you expose them to like McDonald's, where they can get unlimited sources of calories for very low cost, almost exclusively, almost ubiquitously, these people end up with diabetes because they're gorging themselves. They're not used to this environment. They're used to an ancestral environment. So now we do the same situation with us. Nate, you're taking this man who his ancestors had to fight for food, had to compete with other men, and now he doesn't have to do that. And like he gets, Owen Cook had a really great line a long time ago. He says, if you're a beta male, you still get to eat. You know what I'm saying? You might have sex like every once in a while. It's not that bad being a beta male. If that's the lifestyle if that's what you believe about yourself, then you're not going to feel the desire to be more masculine. Because what's the other part about being masculine, Nate? Who has a longer lifespan, men or women?
Women do.
Women do. Because as men, we're more competitive, and testosterone causes us to take more chances, which causes us to have a shorter lifespan than women do.
Yeah, also ruins your immune system, and that makes you die faster.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, you're talking about testosterone? Too much can, yeah, for sure. If you take anabolic steroids, it can. But in general, it doesn't ruin your immune system. If you have too much, it certainly can. And I think, yeah. Hey guys, so we're gonna, Nate, does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to like get your perspective because you're probably seen it change over the years.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So probably in the 70s, 80s, it was much different. Like guys actually wanted to feel like they can protect and provision and like take care of their girlfriend or whatever, and feel like they're like a cornerstone of their household and the cornerstone of their community. And here I still kind of see that a little bit. And it's like sometimes I accidentally offend guys by doing things that like wouldn't be offensive back home. And then like I have to like kind of like correct myself. It's kind of definitely like a big culture difference. So it's kind of weird to me that like one of the big culture differences in certain parts of the world is like how men act, kind of, or how men want to feel men. I never expected that.
So here's the other thing, Nate, though, is you have to recognize that you're only exposed to a small amount of the population, right? So here's what I've noticed, right? If I'm around beautiful women, who am I going to attract as far as men being around me? So like my birthday party at Zook the other night, where there were 50 girls at my birthday party. What kind of men are going to come to that? Are these men that are just like placid, or what type of men are going to come to this?
Like red-blooded, like
competitive life. Competitive. There's a level of competition that these men, they feel the need to compete for these women that are with me for my birthday. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
By the way, the women were competing also. So when you see that, that's a subset of men that I'm witnessing, a competitive type of men. Sometimes with men who have low testosterone, but also feel like this innate attraction for women, what are they going to paint it over with? Here's money, right? I'm just going to use money in order to get a girl, or I'm going to use, something like that. And like you guys know in MOA, I try to teach you guys how to do all this by using almost no money at all. That's one of the tenets, because I'm not going to teach a course on how to use money to get girls, because like some of you guys don't have money, so it wouldn't work. So that's one of the reasons, why we do that. So they're going to use these crutches. Some guy, if you guys have ever met a guy who's 6'5" and super good looking and take him to a club, does he talk a lot, or do you find that the guy kind of just like chills? Does anybody notice this?
Yeah.
They usually don't say anything because they don't want to screw up the advantage they have. Does that make sense? That's why you don't see Shaquille O'Neal out shooting threes. You see him under the basket because that's where he's good. So a lot of times they're super good. Like when I hang out, one of my homegirls, she's dating a male stripper. I notice how he acts whenever he was in the club. He just doesn't do much because he doesn't have to, because he's so good looking. You see what I'm saying? Some of us just have innate advantages, right? Part of MOA is I teach you how to do this with no advantages whatsoever. Obviously we have guys in MOA who are 5'3". We have guys in MOA who are like, again, I think it's impressive, when we have guys who are different ethnicities, all trying to date white girls, Asian girls, whatever, breaking those tropes. I think that part is awesome. That part's pretty cool. Awesome. Cool. Hey, Billy, what's your question?
Yeah, what's up, Michael? Sorry, my light's a little bit fucked. I left it at Brennan's place. So hopefully you can see me. But yeah, I had a couple of girl questions that I'll keep for next time. But things are good. One of the things I want to ask you was, so your content, it's not really niched, right? It's a little bit all over the place, kind of your words.
Well, okay, so it is, but 50% of it is male-female dynamics. As much as I try to teach you guys other stuff, we always keep coming back to this. And I don't mind. You guys it's the feedback that I need. I wanted the program to be, maybe like 25% dating, and then male-female dynamics, and then like 25% entrepreneurship and 25%. That's what I wanted the program to be. You guys, those are the majority of the questions that you ask me don't have to do with finance, even though there is a financial section in Men of Action. But no, I'm with you. It's not niche, but it is.
Yeah, well, I'm not really worried about MOA. I'm more curious. What I'm curious about, I'll just cut to the chase, is when I joined MOA earlier this year, you had, I don't know, like maybe 40,000 followers. And as of yesterday, you were at like 100K. So that's a pretty exponential growth in followers, right? So I'm trying to, and you're posting a lot of content for sure. I'm trying to understand, if I want to recreate something like that, like, should I be niching down to things I'm really good at? Or should I be like just doing whatever, just posting shit?
So this is a tough one, right? So there's this desire to just get attention, and then there's this desire to niche down. What is your ultimate goal? If your ultimate goal is a high ticket sales program, then I do think niching down is more important.
Okay.
Because this is what Grant wanted me to do. He was like, Grant, so our niche is not dating, our niche is networking.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So our niche is networking but we market to people in the dating community, and there's a leadership component to it. Right.
Uh-huh.
That's what the niche is. Now, the thing people see the most of is the events. Why? Because the events, they look the best on social media. So people think that the course has to do with a bunch of about events, but you guys know it doesn't. So that's one of the issues that happens. And then the niche that we do has to do specifically with networking. That's what we use in our sales copy, right? Study the links in the article. You can search directly on Palmed. I don't know what Chaz is talking about on the call there. Go back to what's the original question?
So that was basically it. It's kind of like you have such a big exponential growth in on number of followers, right? And status.
Yeah.
So once I'm very close to the goal I had in mind at the beginning of MOA. I had a very low goal at that point, I'll be honest. Still big for me, but now I want to shoot bigger. So I'm trying to understand kind of getting to higher levels of success. So getting quote unquote Instagram followers and having a brand following, but also at the same point, I'm not sure why I would need that. So just trying to figure out like what's going through your head when you.
So you're asking the question I'm trying to ask. Oh my God, did my cat sit on the fucking camera? Hold on, guys, give me 1 second. Can you guys see me? Hell no. Come on.
No.
Damn it. Sorry, guys. My cat sat on the cord. Give me 1 second.
Let this be a lesson to you guys that you don't ignore your cats.
Bro, I ain't got any cats, bro. The way I live in Vegas, can't take care of anyone else.
No, cats are really smart. If they want to, they'll knock everything down. One of my cats, I feed him every morning. He knows how to open my door, and the next thing I know, he's pawing my face to get me out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta watch out for the nails.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
They're so cute. I love them.
All right, cool. Can you guys see me again? Perfect. And we are out of focus.
Slightly out of focus.
Check.
Yeah, we hear you.
No, I'm trying to get the focus back on me. Here we go. Nobody say anything for 1 second. Cool. All right. So go back. What was the original question?
Yeah. So Mike, my original question was like, you had a growth in Instagram followers since I've quote unquote known you or been in the program, right? And I'm trying to understand why you grew that number. Like, was it for a reason? Was it because status? Is it like
So it's a sales funnel. For me, I will tell you 100. Now, that's not the answer for you. For me, it's one. I do not care. I would get rid of this Instagram in 2 seconds if we doubled our revenue. I only care about clicks through but that's me.
Yes.
I only care about revenue through the Hoobie link. That's all I care about. Whether or not, whenever Grant, Miguel, and myself, whenever we talk about organic traffic, they sit there and they look at sales numbers. I only look at one number. How many Hoobie links went, how many times was link in bio clicked and the Hoobie link that sent you to MOA Mentoring? That is the only thing I look at.
Okay.
So Billy, like in that case, that's why I look at it. As far as like getting girls, like, dude, honestly, 10, 20,000 followers, you're good. You don't really need more than that. Having good photos is way more important.
Okay.
Having really good content is way more important.
Okay. Sounds good. So it's not really like if I get up to like 100K, I'll be at the influencer range.
But for who? Like, again, Billy, you're saying these words and you're confusing me because
No,
you're not even,
I'm trying to understand.
Like, let's set the goalposts now. Let's set the goalposts or else we're going to get into another screaming thing. Billy, what is the fucking goal? Go.
My goal is that my Instagram should be at a point where any girl or one standard deviation girl should be willing to click on it or DM me or answer back to my DM. Yeah.
So then followers don't matter.
Okay. So right now I get good conversion. I'm just mostly get good conversion. So I don't need to worry about that, right? I don't need to specifically focus on growing it beyond just the controlled growth we're doing, posting once a week or something.
Well, you better not say that. You better not say that too loud because Kevin Ray Wilder is saying that you don't convert, that all you guys do is pay for locations.
My DMs and the DMs I sent you. Other than
he doesn't. He believes it's all fake.
You can come over at my place today at 9 o'clock. But don't do that, bro. Or you can come at 11 o'clock if I don't close at 9.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. He thinks it's all fake. No, absolutely doesn't matter. I mean, 10,000 is all you need. I don't think you need much more than that. Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks.
Cool. Yep. Faraz, what's your question?
Oh, sorry. Looks like I'm in a dungeon. Can you hear me?
Yep. Looks like you just cut up a body and you're about to eat it.
Yeah, my question is regarding MOA. So I'm going to be joining it in like most likely February, probably February, March. The question is, in the meantime, what can I do to get ahead of the game?
We'll do the top 4 steps. Does anybody recite the first 4 steps of MOA? If you can, interrupt me. If you cannot, I'm going to go ahead and give them. Interrupt me if you know the first 4 steps. Go ahead, John.
Fix your fucking Instagram.
Okay.
Build a list of influencers and people who you want to invite to events, 1,000 plus.
Okay. What's number 3? Remember, we changed number 3.
Yeah, so 3 is have 6 events that you can invite your female friends to. And number 4, I'm going to suggest was the old number 3, which is get 6 female friends.
Yeah. Okay. So it's exactly right. So the way it works is, number 1, we need to fix your Instagram. So your Instagram needs to be passable. Unfortunately, what's going to happen for us, it might not happen to you, but this is what happens to most people. I tell them to do step number 1 and they're like, okay, cool. I'll do step number 1 later. What's step number 2? We cannot go past step number 1 under any circumstances. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't fix your Instagram next week or 2 years from now. This has to be the priority. Your Instagram has to look like you are not a human trafficker. You have to not look like a child molester. And you'd be shocked how many of you look like that right now. You look so fucking creepy and fucking, like, again, a great example. Guys, look at Kevin Ray Wilder. If you guys want to see a guy who looks like a child molester, go to Kevin Ray Wilder's Instagram. It's exactly, there's a reason why I was laughing so hard. He has no idea what he's doing on Instagram. Just look up Kevin Ray Wilder. So that's exactly how you would never get girls if you look like him. So don't look like that. That'd be the first thing. Look more like, Vincent Del Toro or someone like that. The second thing is, remember, number 2 is, I want you to build a list. Your list is going to have 200 people that you want to network with and about 4,000, start with 2,000, but up to about 4,000 female influencers that you want to come to your events. You with me, for us?
Mm-hmm.
What was step number 1?
Fix your Instagram. Well, I have a couple of questions regarding that, but yeah, fix your Instagram,
Okay,
and then maybe build a list.
Guys, I'll send you 15 Instagrams right now that you can copy, that you can use to do that. In fact, you know what? I'll do it. I'm going to put some Instagrams. Where's it at? Here we go. I just put in the live stream on YouTube, I just put 15 Instagrams. Oh, actually, you can't do that. Just give me 1 second. And nope, can't do any of it. Let me see if I can copy this. There we go. Do you see? I just put 15 Instagrams in the chat there for us.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So I don't want at MOA we don't talk about it. We be about it. There's no There's no theoretical talking. If I tell you I'm going to do something, that means I do it and my clients do it. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. So step number 1, if you have questions about fixing your Instagram, this is another thing. If you have questions about a thing, when you get the course, you don't have the course now. When you get the course, you need to go to the section that reviews that thing before you ask me a question.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to waste everyone else's time. I cover almost every topic in the course. The course is 114 modules long. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Sounds good. So just
No, we're not done. We're not done. Hold on. Step 1 was what?
Yeah, keep going. Fix your
Step
Instagram.
1 was what? Okay. Step 2 was what?
Build a list.
Okay. Step 3 is I need you to find at least 6 events to invite other people to, because we don't throw events in MOA. I advise people to not throw events. Throwing events is always the last straw. Throwing events is because you live in Des Moines, Iowa, and you just can't find other events to go to. I always want you to go to other people's events. There's a huge misnomer about this program. I do not want you to throw events. Okay, because throwing events is like a mathematical equation. It's actually a much harder skill set to get other people to go with you to an event. Does that make sense for us?
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to find 6 events, and you can steal my events. So Babes in Toyland, you can steal Maxim, whatever, and you can get people on the guest list for those events, and I can show you how to do that through the invites. I'm going to teach you how to do invites. And then step 4 is to get 6 women to go with you to one of these events.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Those would be the first 4 steps. The other thing I'm going to tell you to do is there's 26 books. Now there's 27. The 27th book in MOA, for those of you guys keeping score, is called The Ape That Understood the Universe by Dr. Stephen Stewart Williams. That's going to be the book number 27. I would recommend you go through all 27 books.
Do you have the list, or is it going to be in the program?
Well, Faraz, I'll tell you what, if you join the Discord server, we'll give you the list.
Yeah, I'm actually on the Discord. Well, I actually joined it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Then I would ask for the list in the Discord server.
All right. Sounds good.
In MOA, Faraz, we don't talk about it. What do?
We do it.
No, we don't talk about it. We be about it.
We be about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. Got it?
Sounds
In
good.
MOA, we don't ever talk about it. We be about it. We're only interested in you having and you showing results. So it's really important you understand. In MOA, we do not encourage you to throw events. We don't want you to throw events. We want you to take people to someone else's event. Okay?
Yeah.
Got it? Awesome.
Okay. For step number one, like if that answers my questions, yes. The follow-up question is, I have some material that I went to Europe last summer. I haven't posted a single picture yet, but I do have some like good pictures from it. Do you think I can post in the Discord server and like get an opinion, or I actually don't know how Discord even works?
Do you think you can post in the Discord servers? Anybody want to answer that for him?
There's a specific section for that.
Yeah, there's a specific section in the Discord server for that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Faraz, I'm going to try to help you with this. You're number 500 going through this process. Got it?
Yeah, I know.
So when you have a question, do you think your question is unique, or do you think someone's asked that question before?
Not at all. Not at all. No.
Got it. No, I'm not. By the way, I'm not trying to be insulting. I just want you. It should actually give you a piece of like a sound peace of mind.
Yeah.
There's 500 people who've gone through this before you, right? And all of them were satisfied. So that's what I would say. Make sense?
Yeah.
I would go on the Discord server. I provide a ton of, dude, I've been on this call for 3 hours on a free call. Okay. There's a ton of value you're going to get for free before you ever join the program.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. Some of you may never join the program, and that's fine too. Yeah. Cool. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. Thanks for the help.
Beautiful. Next one is Brandon Clark. Brandon, what's your question? Brandon, you got to unmute yourself, buddy.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, so I am coming to Vegas this weekend. Super pumped. And my question is, how should I prepare for Summit? And how should I set up my weekend?
I would just not eat the day before. We're just going to go eat barbecue. Dude, don't worry about this. This is not like, if you wanted to prepare, come to immersion. Immersion, you have to prepare for it, not for Summit. Don't worry about it. Have a fun, have a blast. Have some fun. It's Halloween weekend. Just chill out. Have a good time. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. We might play some basketball or something like that. I'm not trying to, it's not that, yeah. If you come for immersion, you need to, I would go buy a Mophie so your phone is always fucking charged. I'd get some goddamn comfortable shoes. I'd make sure you're dressed correctly. I'd make sure your Instagram is set up properly. If you were coming for immersion, if you're coming for Summit, I wouldn't worry about any of that.
Just show up. Just be ready to
show up. I'd be ready to take notes on my phone.
Yep.
Yeah. Ask a lot of questions. Dude, you guys understand. Again, this is a free call. I'm gone 3 hours. This is what we do in the program. This is what the paid calls are like too.
Gotcha. Okay. Right on.
Cool. I'm here to answer the questions. Beautiful. But yeah, you guys also, I just want you to remember, for all of you who are in MOA, I want you to remember those first 4 steps to help anybody else out who's having trouble. Step number 1, fix your Instagram. Step number 2, build your list. Step number 3, find other people's events, because I don't want you throwing your own event. Remember, throwing your own event is always the last ditch thing to do. It's because, or unless you're like Anthony DeRico and you're really fantastic at getting locations, then that's fine. You can do that also. But, and then step number 4, remember, step number 4 is you want to take 6 girls with you to those events. That is going to be the hardest thing to do, is getting 6 girls to buy in on what you're doing. And you do that by creating female champions. And we talk about that specifically in the program. It's under the it's in section 1. It's called Female Friends. It's one of the sections we talk about it in Men of Action. You got it?
Badass.
Cool. Anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? Cool. So unless Kevin Ray Wilder is going to stop being a bitch and actually come on. Hey guys, actually, I'll show you his IG. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna show you guys. I found his Instagram. I was like, dude, who is this guy? He's obviously selling someone else's product. He's probably one of the affiliates for JMOV or something like that. One of the issues is, what I was gonna say before. Oh, also, can we hold on? Somebody said something.
I would say Kevin Ray Wilder is butt buddies with Alex from Playing with Fire. I do know that.
Is he? Alex just texted me today. Alex asked me to come back on Playing with Fire.
No doubt.
Yeah.
KRW is always, they always have like a debate usually going on. So I think they partnered up.
If you guys want to see like what to not do with your Instagram, here's a great example. You see like the little psychopath look on his face? Like this is what Kevin Ray Wilder looks like. Do you see how he has all these things posted here and like no one's looking at them? You see, like he's actually this is exactly what you do not want to do with your Instagram. Another thing is 1,000 followers while he's following 3,600 people. These are all great examples of like what not to do. And the other thing, if we go here, we'll also see that there's no girls following him. This is a great example of like how to not do your Instagram is to do something like this. So like, again, you see like the real creepy look on his face right here. Like, again, it's like messed up photo. This is exactly what you do not want to do with your Instagram. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, no, what's his name? Alex from Playing with Fire. He asked me to come on the podcast. I'm going to be back on probably in December. He just messaged me about it today.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
What is the importance of your ratio of followers to following?
It just is kind of thirsty. By the way, you can get rid of them later. I don't really mind in the beginning, but like he's not trying to grow his Instagram. He's just being weird. If you're doing it initially to grow your Instagram, that's fine, and then later you can get rid of them. Then you could definitely do that.
Yeah, because like my shit was all off balance for a while. I had like 800 followers. I was following like 1,800 people. So I just went through and started deleting.
Yeah.
But now I'm posting 10 stories a day and I just got a shitload of new followers, but they're all bots.
From what? What did you do to get the bots?
I just posted like 10 IG stories a day for the last like 2 weeks.
You got bots to follow? How many bots are we talking about? Thousands?
No, not thousands, but a lot of bots.
So a lot would be thousands.
Oh yeah. Well, like they're rather like bots or they're like Instagram thoughts or they're like.
Wait, Instagram thoughts are the problem? I'm confused.
They're just like fake people that like, they look like scams. They look like those trolls that like jump in on your comments and they're like, oh, if you want to level up and make $6 grand a week.
Yeah. So I have the same problem. So the thing is, Brandon, everyone's having that problem. Like if you look on mine, I get a bunch of like commenters that are like, oh, learn about Forex and all this kind of stuff. I really wouldn't worry about that too much. I will tell you this, guys, I've changed something. I'm going to actually have to change it in MOA. Remember when I said post 10 stories a day? I'm still fine with 10 stories a day. What you cannot do is post more than 20. Listen to me, guys. Really important. Do not post more than 20 stories a day. Apparently, IG is flagging this kind of stuff, and it's really, I noticed my content was struggling there for a while. That's the reason why. That's the reason why.
Cool.
Awesome. Best Cast TV, how do you find the link to your Discord? Message me on Instagram and I'll send you the link to my Discord. Cool. Awesome. Cool. I feel bad because I actually think Kevin Ray Wilder may be autistic, and I've been sitting there making fun of him for a while. I feel like a piece of shit now. I just looked at I watched one of those videos and I think he may be autistic. All right, cool. Anybody else have any questions? Cool. Awesome. Cool. Did 3 hours. Beautiful. I got a date I got to go get to right now. Thank you guys for coming on. For those of you, I will see the podcast comes out tomorrow. Like I said, I have a 9-time cover model coming on tomorrow. It's Elizabeth Marie Chevalier. Unfortunately, she just lost her IG. So she's not going to be able to promote it, but I think you guys will love it because there's like this disconnect between what she says she wants and what she actually wants. She's actually coming to spend Halloween with me here in a couple of days. And then next week, it's going to be Miss Nevada. I have Miss Nevada coming on the podcast. And she is going to be her along with Steph Cook, which they're ring girls for Top Rank Boxing. They've done the Pacquiao fight. So we're going to have some ring girls. And then after that, I've got a really Adam Sosnick is coming on. Charlie Classic is coming on. Still working on getting Tristan Tate. Tristan Tate is still in Dubai, I think. I can't remember what he told me, but he and I are still working about coming on. And then afterwards, after we do all this, probably in December, I'll just see if Andrew wants to do a podcast just over Zoom, because I don't think he's going to make it out here to Vegas. Anybody else you guys want me to have on? Oh, one other thing. God damn it, I almost forgot. Friday night at 10 p.m., we're doing Access Vegas. Please make sure you check that out and watch. We're going to live stream it on my channel, and we're going to live stream it on Rolo's channel. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you do that. Awesome. And then I will be in what's it called? I will be in Miami in December, and I'm going to do Adam Sosnick show. I'm going to do Fresh and Fit, and I may do Playing with Fire. Those 3 podcasts. All right. Awesome, guys. I will